What are you waiting for?
Come join the Geek Drunk Nation.
Alrighty. What is going on, guys? It's Tazz here, and wait, this isn't the Legion Lounge. This is Party Nation Live. I am doing a bit of a takeover here while Lance is away, but we still got the rest of our amazing Party Nation crew with a couple of special guests as well. As always, we got 3Dubs as our co-host. Got Buddy, Tackless Rhyme. Taj is here as well. Darth Bunyan joining us. How's it going? And Kata. How's it going, man?
Hey.
So we've got a quite a fun show for you guys today. Again, sadly, Lance is not here, but the show must go on. We're gonna, try to move forward for him and everything, try to make him proud. But we've got quite a few things to talk about today. There's quite a bit that happened. Comic-Con happened over the last week. We had a couple of trailers and stuff like that. Of course, the writers and the actors strike is still happening, so there's not going to be, too much coming out. And of course, we are, as always, all in support of the writer's strike and the actors strike. As always, standing with them. But got quite the lineup. We've got a fun little ranking as well planned at the end of this, and as always, massive spoiler warning for pretty much anything we talk about. We're going to go into full details and everything, but just how's everybody doing? How's the week been?
Pretty good. It's going good. Found out that we will be going on a break. Party Nation is going on a break on the 15th of August.
Okay.
And then we're coming back with season 3.
Nice. Buddy, how you doing?
Things are going well where I'm at. I have no complaints in my life. My legs are a little tired after today, but I'm okay. I'm good. I'm sitting in a chair, so I'm fine. My one problem has been alleviated. We're good.
I feel that. I'm going to be in that same position tomorrow. Taj, how are you doing?
Besides the bipolar weather we have in Maryland, I've been pretty good. Yeah, it's too hot, and then it's raining on top of that, on and off. I'm just like, make up your mind. Like, what are you doing?
Darth Bunyan, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Completely randomly, I found somebody that will help me show me how to work my 3D printer, so I don't have to sell it anymore. So
wow.
So
Nice.
Cool.
Very awesome. And Kata, how are you doing?
Good. It's Wednesday at Tokyo. It's really hot, but I got to start working in 2.5 hours. Work from home, but
all right. Yeah, we'll try to fit everything in that time, so we don't keep you too long.
No, it's cool. Thanks.
Of course. So, first topic wanted to jump into. The shirt says it all. Superman. My Adventures with Superman. This was episode 4 this week of our first season. It was quite the big episode, kind of, again, exploring a little bit more of that, I guess, dichotomy between Clark and Superman, kind of, again, showing him trying to, I guess, hide that double life from Lois and Jimmy as they are getting closer and closer to the truth, and we had a big reveal at the end of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
A bit of a different version of Parasite, which actually, I was not expecting, but we had a bunch of stuff with Dr. Ivo, with Amazo, and all that type of stuff. It was a very fun episode, again, very much so leaning into that, like, anime style. So what did you guys think of this most recent episode?
I would say they kind of threw me for a loop because when I hear Mazer, I'm thinking the guy who copies Superman's powers and all the heroes. So that threw me for a loop, and it turned into a Mazo Parasite.
Yeah.
Because I was a Mazo. Just kidding, playing into it. But yeah, it was a fun little episode. They finally got to be a reporter, which was nice. She messed up, though. But yeah. Next, buddy.
I really like the episode. With My Adventures with Superman, it's just, it feels so nice to have an animated superhero show that maybe isn't like Invincible, where it's like brutal. This is just wholesome. This really understands Superman, and I'm just in it every week. So going into this one, I'm just excited for the next adventure. And I like this version of Parasite. I think so far of the characters we've seen in the show, this is the first, I think, villain that will come back eventually, because we had Parasite version 1 in this version, in this episode. So I think that'll be a recurring person as we go down, because at the end of the episode we find that they're not dead, they're alive, but we don't know exactly how the tech works or anything. We didn't get a lot of details there, but there's a lot of seeds being planted. There's some really good reveals and stuff this episode. The show's a blessing, in the sea of awful shit we've got going on, to come focus, hone in on My Adventures with Superman. I can't complain.
Taj, what do you think?
Oh, I loved it. Listen, even though Ivo gave me Tony Stark vibes,
I was
from
getting
Iron
some
Man too.
like
Or he felt like Hammer.
Justin
too.
Hammer, yeah.
Yeah. Like I just love how campy he was, but I liked it. I still think we'll get a Mazo soon, but I guess that'll be down the road. I'm just interested to see what's the big plan. Like, what is it building up to with all these villains with like the tech and stuff like that? I've seen a lot of people complaining about the tech, like, oh, they're taking away I'm like, well, technically they didn't say that. Like, what episode was it? 3 that we had Silver Banshee?
Yeah, that was the
and
previous
all
episode.
they said was the helmet amplifies it. So like she
Right.
could have already had her powers and then that just amplified it. But I mean, Parasite, I think it works better this way, but that's just me. But I love this. And then the ending with Lois like putting together that
Yes.
Clark was Superman. I was like, oh, so we doing it early, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I'm honestly really glad that we got to that point where Lois kind of put all the pieces together very quickly, because it shows that, again, this version of the character is very much so like in that investigative reporter mode. She's not gonna, let anything fly over her head. Like she's, all in on that investigation. And again, we also don't have to have Clark kind of like hide this from Lois and Jimmy for too long. I feel like that could feel a little bit dragged out if we didn't get to it as quickly as we are. And it seems like next week's episode is going to be really getting, into the nitty gritty of that reveal.
Does Lois have training? Because she punched the hell out that one dude. Like, she sent him flying, dude. I was like, wait, hold on.
Plot armor, maybe?
I mean, I think that can honestly, I don't know if it's planned that way, but we also had the mentions of her dad for the first time in this
Right,
movie, and we
yeah.
cut away from that. So maybe,
Yeah,
maybe
most
she
likely.
did.
Yeah.
Maybe she does. I don't
Yeah.
know if they'll go down that route, but
It could be a little bit of just like self-defense training in
Right.
the background.
Yeah.
Darth Bunyan, what are you thinking? Because I know the last time we spoke on stream,
He disappeared.
perfect timing on that.
I'm sure he'll be back. Kata, question to you. What did you think of this episode?
So in general, I've been loving this show. Yeah, it was weird because I saw back to back with the Adam Eve one, the Invincible.
Oh,
and just,
yeah.
So just like Buddy said, it's like it's not so edgy, it's wholesome, but it's funny because being a Japanese dude, this is like anime, but the contents, the IP is like an American thing. So I'm kind of glad that things are moving pretty fast. It's the only thing that doesn't make it feel like an anime is the things that are moving really fast with the love story. Because most animes are like a will they, won't they thing going on. But this is because some of those scenes, like if it was an anime, it would be like, oh, actually, that was just Clark daydreaming or something. But it was actually happening. So I was pretty surprised. But yeah, I've been loving the show.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Darth
no.
Bunyan,
Yeah, so what are you thinking? Because I know the last time we were on stream, you weren't completely sold with that first episode.
I am really warming up to it. I am more intrigued. I'm very intrigued with the villain side of it, with the fact that Deathstroke's in his early stages. And the Krypton thing is very interesting. I've only seen it once, but I'm trying to go back and watch it. It looks like someone made their sun red. I mean, it looked like something was flying in. So it looked like they have a whole thing going on. As well as what's going on with Amanda Waller, which I'm really, really curious about.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like they're building to some like big invasion type of thing. And I know there are rumors that like Brainiac is possibly involved, so maybe they're going the route where, maybe Brainiac is responsible for the destruction of Krypton. Somehow Amanda Waller knows this, and she's assembling this team of villains, creating her version of the Suicide Squad to possibly defend the planet from this incoming Brainiac invasion. That's kind of the route I feel like they're taking. There's not too much evidence on that, but it feels like there's some big threat, some big force that's coming in at some point.
Yeah, because Amanda Waller and Slade are positioning themselves as the good guys, so we're definitely pre-Suicide Squad. So it's interesting, you're right, to see where they're going with it for sure.
Yeah. And I think like also too that they might be maybe originally facing off against Superman and then kind of the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Like they're going to have to eventually team up to take on that much larger threat.
Yeah, for sure.
And did you guys see the little previews for next week's episode, or want to not be spoiled on that? I won't really touch on them. They're very, very small, but just kind of, just building off of what was revealed at the end of this week's episode. And I think, again, we're in for such a treat with this show. Like, it's been so solid, so consistent. I have not seen an animated show like this that has just made me smile the entire time. Like, I know you guys were mentioning Invincible. That's something that actually I finally got through and I binged the entire thing of. I loved it so much. Yeah. And it's like that style is very, very different from something like My Adventures with Superman. My Adventures with Superman, very hopeful, very, down to earth, just like a very like textbook definition of, what you would expect with this hopeful superhero story, while Invincible is just like its own thing. It's a blast. It's a ride in it of itself, but definitely a stark contrast there. But if you guys don't have anything else, I think we could move over to our next topic, and that would be Secret Invasion. So this was our penultimate episode.
Y'all can go into spoilers, even though I didn't see it. Y'all can still talk about it. I'll watch it.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't... I have some mixed feelings on this one. It wasn't as big of an episode as I thought it was going to be. It was more so just kind of fallout from the previous episode and then set up for what we're going to see in the finale. It's basically just leading to our big confrontation between Fury and Gravik. Gravik's going to become just like full on, like juiced up Super Skrull. Nick Fury is finally back. He's got his eye patch. He's got his trench coat. He's got his gun, and he's ready to just like take on. Yeah, and his goatee. Yeah, he's got a nice clean shave and everything like that, and he's just ready to take on Gravik and put a stop to this Skrull invasion and everything. So just I guess kind of like overall, what are you guys thinking going into the finale? Because that's I guess coming out tonight at around 3 a.m. for those of us who are going to stay up and watch it.
I will say the phone call is the most anticipated thing that I'm looking forward to in the final episode, because they left it on a freaking cliffhanger. So we don't actually know who's on the other line. So all we can think about is like, please be Quake, or please be Coulson, or please be Maria Hill. Like she's not really dead.
I mean, I know there was a lot of discussion about who is on the other end of that phone call. I think Fury was just calling Gravik, saying, hey, like, I'm ready for a fight. Like, I think that's what that conversation was. At least that's how I viewed it. I don't know if, anybody else is on that same page, but that's kind of just what I thought in that moment. It didn't seem like it was like any, special like extra help that he was calling in or like calling in a favor or anything like that. I felt like that was very much so just Fury like, hey, I've got the vial that you need. I'm ready to face off. Let's end this, pretty much.
And we got people may not know this, but we also got like a little cameo when he was flying with Black Widow's helper.
Yeah. I didn't notice that when I was first watching, but I definitely saw people talking about that online, and I was like, oh, I knew I recognized that guy from somewhere.
I was when Talos asked the same question, can you just say something, with more words and whatnot? I was thinking the magic word is please. And that's what he was thinking, except for and then the scene where Talos and Nick were in the bar when he said ask me the question, it came off as help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. I was thinking exactly that when he said, instead like help me, Talos, I'm useless without you.
Yeah, pretty much. Buddy, what are you thinking going into this this finale here after the penultimate episode?
If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to rant a little bit.
Oh, go
Okay,
ahead.
go
ahead.
for it. Go for
It's not anything crazy. This isn't like Flash season 7. It's nothing like that. But here's the thing, right? This show I really enjoyed. You know, it didn't start off very well with the AI intro. I was like, not a fan of that. And then I watched the show and I'm like, oh, this is actually different than any other MCU project on Disney Plus. It's taking its time to let these actors do what they're supposed to do, is act and off each other. The conversations were really good. The dialogue was really good. And it stayed this way. It stayed consistent all the way up to this episode. And then suddenly the marketing started coming back and creeping up inside my frontal cortex when I remember the 6-part event bullshit. And then this episode delivered on that bullshit because we had a suit up sequence with Nick Fury putting on a fucking eye patch. I could not believe that is still continuing. I'm not a fan of that. That doesn't do anything for me. I don't care who's on the cell phone. And now with the pacing of this episode, the lack of runtime, the lack of the stuff that I've enjoyed in the first half of the show, it's not there anymore. It's suddenly cookie cutter Marvel bullshit again. And I'm tempering all expectations tomorrow. I'm not going to stay up for this. I'm going to go into it tomorrow, hoping to have a decent conclusion, but I'm getting more and more nervous that we're not going to have a satisfying ending here. I will say this, though. This episode did disappoint me. This final episode still can bring it home. I'm not saying it's just gone and I'm going to let go of it, but it can bring it home still. I just hope they don't kill Gravik. I think if you kill Gravik, I'm done, because I almost feel like because of the pacing, there's no point to kill him now, because I still feel like there's so much more to his story. And if you're going to kill Talos, the old head, the old blood, I think having Gaia and Gravik as the new blood and work together, basically just redo the Skrulls and the way their hierarchy worked. That sounds more interesting to me. That sounds like something beyond just this show, just this episode that's coming up. So I'm nervous. I'm apprehensive. I'm taking my expectations a little bit back on this one, because this episode just really didn't do it for me. Like, Tazz, if you missed an episode, this is the one to miss.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Before I continue anymore, Kata, what were you thinking about this?
So I'm still waiting for a payoff. Like, things that are slow like this, like people are saying Andor. I mean, I loved Andor because everything did pay off, although it was like it started off slow and then it was building up. There was a payoff, and there was like, I think it was divided into like 3 or 4 sections, different stories. But this one is not paying off yet. So it's like we're at the penultimate, haven't paid off anything, and I'm still waiting for the finale. And I guess the interesting things are they have to wrap up things like, is Rhodey, the real Rhodey, still alive? Is he held up somewhere? When did a Skrull replace Rhodey? Also, this whole thing has to connect with the Marvels, the show. So you expect, you know that Nick Fury is going to be okay and everything. But also, there's like been rumors that Marvels is going to connect to Young Avengers. So maybe this has something to do with that too, as well, in connecting. So, I mean, I hope the finale pays off finally.
There's 2 movies that it should connect to, and that's Armor Wars and the Marvels.
Yeah. It's just like, it oddly feels like there was so much build up. Like, this show has been all just going up the hill of a roller coaster, and we're at the top now, and there's just almost not enough time in one episode to fully wrap this up. This comment here from Ragu, they should have just released it as a whole 6-hour cut instead of this stupid weekly episode. Yeah, I definitely get that. I feel like if it was released maybe as like a 6-hour cut movie, or if they had just dropped the entire show at once, I feel like this will be something that is maybe received a lot better on a binge. And I think that's maybe the case for a lot of these Disney Plus. Yeah, for a lot of these Disney Plus shows.
And it cost $212 million for the six episodes.
Where?
Yeah,
Where is that budget? I don't get it.
like the Skrull makeup, I guess, or just like the little transformation effects, and that's about
Christopher
it.
Nolan recreated the Trinity bomb for $100 million.
No
What is-
CGI involved.
No
They-
CGI involved.
They couldn't afford to hire any of the other Avengers, obviously.
And,
they couldn't get it.
Yeah, like they spent all their money getting Sam Jackson, and that that was it. Like it's like you can have Samuel L. Jackson, and that's about it. Could it end in a cliffhanger with the final shot of Rhodey still in captivity? At this point, I feel like that might be what we do. Maybe that's why they've had to completely shift around and reorganize what Armor Wars is going to be. It's most likely just going to be, it shifted from a show to a movie now, and I'm guessing at this point we don't have a lot of time left. Like we've got to wrap up the Fury versus Gravik story. We've still got some stuff with Gaia most likely to wrap up. We've still got again that Skrull Rhodey to wrap up, and we've got the Marvels to set up as well, because we do know that the Skrulls are going to be in there in some capacity. Nick Fury is literally going from Secret Invasion to the Marvels, so there's a lot of setup that needs to be done for future projects, and I just unfortunately think that this whole Skrull Rhodey thing is going to be kind of left by the wayside just a little bit. We're going to maybe get some sort of resolution to that Skrull version of Rhodey. Maybe they'll end up dying or whatever, and then just kind of leave the full explanation for how actual Rhodey is going to readjust to society, maybe where he was, captured, and, how long he's been a Skrull chronologically in the timeline. Did it happen, in between Infinity War and Endgame? Did it happen after that? Does Rhodey even know that Tony died in Endgame? Maybe they're going to just, go the silly route and have him, he's been a Skrull ever since the recast in between Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. Like, I don't know what they're going to do there. What would you guys like to see? Like, how would you like to see that part of the story wrapped up?
I gotta say it. I'm gonna be the one who says it. It's fucking racist if they make it that far back. That is just blatant fucking racism. If they're like Terrence Howard, like that would be ridiculous. I think it's probably Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because I also feel like having the moment of him being like, where's Tony? That's not going to hit for me, because I really liked Don Cheadle's performance in Endgame when he's there. I'm like, that performance is really good.
Right.
You retroactively making that worse just makes me like just not like it as much. But also, Everett Ross, are we ever going to figure out what happened there? Because he just like shot dead Skrull in episode 1, and then we just haven't brought him back up still. So I feel like that you could just have a scene where they're just getting everybody rescued, and it's only been like a couple months, or it's stuff that will tie into Armor Wars. Like you guys mentioned that, and I'm almost like, oh shit, that's what Armor Wars is, obviously. So like that just connects with me. So I don't know. I just have more like apprehensions, I guess, to this. I'm nervous.
I have big expectations because one, quickly to answer the Rhodey thing, right? They said that Gravik has been favorable to Nick Fury since after Endgame, when the Harvest was employed, right? If he wasn't on Nick Fury's side, he would have just taken his own. Then we wouldn't have this whole thing. So that would be like a massive plot hole if anything is pre-Endgame.
True.
Right?
Very true. Very true.
Valid.
So, but I like 1 million Skrulls compared to 7 billion people, not a lot, but 1 million people is a lot to have as refugees, right? And how they're going to integrate. And what Nick Fury said is, we're struggling to get along with each other, and now we're going to have the Skrulls. Whether they stay on planet is going to be a big question. I would like to see them stay and see how that works, because you could have Earth turning into like New Xandar. That would be quite really, really cool and interesting. Sorry, go on.
We also need to have the president die for Harrison Ford to be Thunderbolt Ross as well. So
there's so many things that just need to like be ramifications of this series, and again, it feels so weird that we're trying to wrap all this up in one episode when we've just been building for 5 episodes.
Yeah, it just makes you think about previous times this has happened. like every other show.
Yeah,
That's so
where
frustrating.
it's so
Like-
so strong, and then it just kind of devolves into, okay, big CGI fight at the end, and we're gonna quickly wrap everything up. And if you want to figure out what happens next, go watch the next 3 Marvel movies.
I want Gravik to stay alive, right? Because he's a really good villain and portrayed by a fantastic actor. But if it's just wrapped up with a handshake and then Nick Fury goes back on Saber, I'm going to be pissed.
That would be awful. That would be so bad. I could see them doing that. I could see it.
Yeah, I've seen a photo floating around from a trailer at one point, and it's basically Gravik as like a big, like, hulked out Super Skrull. So we're gonna be getting our big CGI fight, and
Yay.
I don't know if Fury is going to just straight up kill Gravik, because we know that, you know, at one point they were, I guess, allies. So that would be maybe a step too far to just go ahead and kill him straight up, but they kind of decided to just devolve him into standard, just angry at the world, I'm just going to take everything over villain in this episode. And they made it very clear from the beginning, where they just had him snap pretty much, you know, right at the beginning of this episode, and just kind of go completely off the deep end. So maybe with that, he's already too far gone in the eyes of Fury and everything like that. But yeah, I think that there's just a couple different ways that they could wrap it up. What were you saying, 3 Dubs?
In the eye.
Oh. Yeah.
My friend was wondering if Gaia got more than just the extremists, right? But then if they kill Gravik and then they have her, they've already shown that she's not out for a greater good when it comes to humanity. It's just more about her and the Skrulls. So she could become what of an anti-hero and self protagonist.
Yeah, I think that they're definitely setting her up to be kind of take a larger role, maybe take that role that Talos had in the past and just kind of fill that role as, like, maybe just like the new Skrull leader, maybe somewhat work under Fury, but not kind of as, like, not as much as Talos's fleet of Skrulls, because they were kind of being, I guess, at the end of the day, they were just being used as, you know, spies, as Fury's kind of like eyes and ears out in the field. And that's kind of how, you know, everything kind of evolved for him with S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Avengers and everything like that. So I feel like Gaia has seen how that works and obviously does not want to be associated with it in that way. Obviously, she won't be trying to take over the world like Gravik, but you're right. I don't think that she's going to be super open to just, like, working very closely with Fury in the future. But again, we do see in that Marvel's trailer and in some of the screenshots that were released and everything like that, that there are Skrulls still in the Marvels. So there is something to be said about that as well.
Is anyone else super curious about what happened on Skrullos? Because they alluded to it in their council meeting, and it sounded so deep.
Yeah. And they keep, like, kind of referring to it being super vague, and it's just like something big happened. But it's
We're never going to see it.
a lot of telling us and not showing us.
Well, we're not going to see it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, that's a lot of money to try to recreate that.
Maybe that's where that money went. Maybe that's where the money
Just
all I know is all of my fears are going to come true if I
Yeah.
see a 3. If I see a 3 saying it's going to be like a 30-minute episode, if it says like 5, like it's going to be a 50-minute episode, you know, when I see that first number on the runtime, that's going to solidify something for me, because it's like there's so many plot threads that we're talking about. We haven't even brought up the fact that Fury, we still don't know why he didn't find them a fucking home in over however many years it's been.
yeah.
Why didn't he?
Yeah.
Where is that drive? Is there a reason there? Is Nick Fury just an asshole for, like, what? Like, I don't know. For me, I feel like it's almost gotten too personal with how we had to lose Talos, who we like. Like, it's almost like, and we had to lose Maria Hill. It's almost becoming too personal that, like, we're losing focus on, like, these bigger things. Like, Nick Fury made this decision, and this decision has caused all of this. But I still feel like he's barely dealing with any ramifications of that decision. And I feel like Gravik had such strong character work. And then, like you said, suddenly he's done a 180, and now he's just the bad guy number 4, shooting people. And it's just like I don't know. I miss the integrity, I guess. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just it feels like, why does this have to keep happening to us? Where they give us such great ideas and some really cool episodes, and then by the time of the finale, I'm like, I've seen where this goes. I want to be wrong. By the way, guys, I want to be wrong, but I've been hurt too many times before.
It has to be more far-reaching than just the Marvels and Armor Wars, though, right? I mean,
It has to.
more
There's
so
no
than
way.
the Eternals and the giant goddamn stone hand, because
Right.
there was an alien sighted, a shape-shifting alien sighted near a presidential attempted assassination. Do you know what I mean? So if there's not a whole thing with people and who's who and do I trust you, and you know, then then they're dropping the ball for me.
Yeah, I mean, Skrulls have to be like public knowledge by the end of this. Like they have to be kind of, maybe the big thing is just properly allowing them to, I guess, integrate into Earth society is kind of the thing. Is because I think a big theme of this is them being, you know, afraid to walk around as Skrulls. So maybe if, you know, Fury makes this deal with Gravik, like, hey, I'm going to do everything I can to make, you know, you guys able to just like, you know, live on this planet without having to impersonate somebody or kidnap them and keep them in a secret lair so you can actually go out and live your life. Like, I think that's going to be, you know, a big thing going forward. And then this comment here from Cameron, I feel like the Marvels takes place in 2025 because of the post-credit scene with Captain Marvel, and change places with Kamala in Miss Marvel. Yeah, I think that the Marvels is going to be the closest we get to a direct continuation of Secret Invasion. I think there's not going to be much time that passes between the two movies, or between the series and the movie. And I think that's why they've kind of waited as well to drop that trailer. Like, if you notice, we did just get that trailer in the past week after this penultimate episode aired, after Fury was back in his full, like, Nick Fury look, and that's the same look he'll be sporting within the Marvels. So many unanswered plot lines which need closure and probably will be Armor Wars. Yeah, I agree with that.
Is anybody like scared for the Marvels actually? Because you kind of need to see WandaVision, Miss Marvel, Secret Invasion. You have to, and Captain Marvel 1, which I know made $1 billion, but that was only because of Endgame that it made $1 billion. That does scare me. That was my same fear for Ahsoka coming up. Is the Marvels going to be able to stand on its own 2 legs here, or is it just going to be references to other things? Because we talk about how we want things to bleed through, but if it bleeds through too much, are general audiences going to catch up on that?
I think it's good to have like a healthy dose of skepticism. Like there is a lot of required reading, it sounds like, to go into the Marvels. Like I feel like you could just watch Captain Marvel 1 and then go into Captain Marvel 2 and be, you know, satisfied. But if you really want the nitty-gritty, the extra details to kind of know exactly how everybody got from, you know, this place to the next place, whatever, you're going to have to watch Captain Marvel, Endgame. You've got to watch Secret Invasion. You've got to watch Miss Marvel. You've got to watch WandaVision. You've got to, I mean, maybe to some extent watch Multiverse of Madness. You've got to, you know, there's so much that you need to, you know, familiarize yourself with before going into this movie if you want to be 100% kind of in the loop. But I feel like they need to do a healthy balance of, you know, not treating the audience like they don't know anything and, you know, wasting the first like 30 minutes to an hour kind of re-explaining everything. But you also can't just jump in there, you know, without explaining how any of these characters got where they are and just, you know, immediately start out with power swaps and Fury on, you know, Saber and all that craziness. So Chainsaw, the Marvels will get delayed if the strike doesn't end soon. Yeah. Sadly, it sounds like if the writer strike and the actor strike continues for much longer, that a lot of these projects that are meant to come out towards the end of this year will get pushed back a little bit further, possibly to the beginning of 2024. There have already been rumors, I think, that like Dune is going to be moved to 2024. We don't know what's going on with Aquaman at this point.
Aquaman, yeah.
That sounds like that needs to be moved as well because there's so many reshoots and everything happening with that.
Just keep that movie.
And the actors can't promote it, right now.
Anybody associated with any of the organizations cannot promote it, can't do interviews or anything. So any promotion will have had to be pre-recorded, and any other promotion will just come from fans like us who are talking about it without any studio interference. But I think that's a really good segue into the Marvels, just because we did get that new trailer this week as well. Nothing massive. Just
Kamala
kind of
is going to steal this movie.
she's going to
Steal it. I'm telling you now, she's going to steal this movie.
Dude, I loved Miss Marvel, the TV show.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah,
I think you'll be fine. Sorry, just to say that with the Miss Marvel show and everything else, I think it just saved us 45 minutes for that. For her origin story, so it keeps everything more concise. So I think you're right. I think they're going to do fine. I'm so excited. I cannot wait.
Yeah, this trailer made me just way more hyped for it than I even was originally, and I think Secret Invasion as well, being as strong as it was in the first 4 episodes, kind of got me very in the mode for this movie as well. I think they had a very good song for the trailer as well, gave us a much better idea of just kind of this cosmic team up adventure that we're going to go on, and it just seems like it's going to be a fun time. I had a lot of fun with the first Captain Marvel movie. I know that one's not always looked at as one of the best, but I thought it was a fun origin movie. The fact that it had a lot of that 90s nostalgia kind of interjected in there as well. I think for the Marvels, I think all the suits and everything look really good, and I'm just excited to see this team up. So what?
I cannot wait. Is it? I'm terrible with names. Is it Maria? No, Maria's a mum. Monica. We're gonna see.
Monica Rambeau.
I cannot wait to see her just kicking ass, and it's gonna be so good. She's gonna look so good. It's going to be great.
We were introduced with 2 acronyms. We were introduced with SWORD, and then now we're into Saber.
Saber.
I was like, don't bring fire.
Which always, every time somebody says Saber, it just makes me think of Saber Interactive, which is a game studio. But yeah.
It's also funny is Saber isn't that the thing that's the villain, well, sort of villain in the Spider-Man game?
Oh, Silver Sable.
Yeah.
Sable, okay. Sable.
Yeah. Which is a whole yeah. I mean, Marvel's got so many acronyms, so many just characters with very similar names and everything like that. I guess maybe the one big thing though about the Marvels is it does feel like very much so the culmination of a lot of these projects that we've seen in the past, but it doesn't feel like it has that big multiversal connection. The big thing recently has been this whole multiverse saga leading to Secret Wars, leading to Kang Dynasty, that type of thing. Do you guys think that there's any connection to that, or it's really more so a finale to this whole Skrull storyline, to the Secret Invasion, to bringing the Marvels family together? Or do you think that there are going to be bigger ramifications, kind of longer lasting things from this that carry on into the rest of this multiverse saga?
I think the Super Skrull is going to carry on. It's too big of a threat. And if I remember correctly, I think Skrulls are really, really tied to Secret Invasion in the comics.
Secret Wars.
Secret Wars. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think
what's causing their powers to make them switch. Is that?
No, that's a Skrull. That's a Skrull, Lance. That's not the real one.
It's not the real one. It's Skrull,
It's not real.
Skrull.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Oh, just wanted to jump in and say what's up as I doing my little first week of family day. Just was watching the news, and UPS just struck a deal with their workers, gave them a huge pay raise, so they're averting their strike. Why can't
We
Hollywood
talked
do it?
about this last week. That's what I'm talking about. That's good. That's good stuff. Look at
I
that.
could get
Why
my
can't
packages on
Hollywood do it?
time.
Because they're greedy bastards.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just embarrassing. They cut a deal that everybody was happy with.
Wow.
I think
Intent.
these movie studios should take notes.
Exactly.
They need to get a pen and a check ready.
Yeah.
Start giving these people their money.
Exactly.
Maybe raise their residuals to like a couple, like 1,000. Just just out of the blue. I don't mind.
No, they're just gonna keep getting embarrassed. But I just wanted to jump in real quick. It's Barbie time.
Oh, did you see Barbie yet?
In the Barbie girl world.
We're headed to see
okay.
it now. So
Good luck. I hear it's great.
It's
So,
very good. You'll have a blast.
I've
you
heard
guys
very
have
good
you guys have a good string. You're in good hands with Tazz and the guys. I'm sure Darren will be here shortly.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
should be in
here.
soon.
He's already here, but he's an hour late. He's like at work.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, guys. Just wanted to jump in. I'm not a Skrull. I'm real.
That's something a Skrull would say.
Yeah.
Wait,
Something a Skrull would say.
what did Jamie Foxx do in his announcement video? Wait.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Also, before I jump, why are people still talking about that man as a clone? If the government wanted to clone somebody, why
Yeah,
would
why
they
would they-
pick Jamie Foxx, an almost 60-year-old actor?
Why wouldn't they?
No way he's that old. He looks great.
Yeah.
No way.
Like people act like lighting and being sick doesn't alter the way you look sometimes.
I genuinely thought late 40s.
Nope.
Wow.
That's crazy. 60, going on 60. That's
Yep.
That's mental.
But you guys have a good time. Taj, enjoy your salmon and salad.
I'm not even eating it tonight.
Of course.
Crazy.
All right, guys. I'll check y'all later.
See ya. Enjoy Barbie.
Hold on. Let me. How do I get out of here? That way I don't
You
end the
just-
stream.
You just you just close your browser. That's all.
Okay. Wait, kick me out. I don't want to.
I'm going to kick Lance out. This is live, everyone. Watch.
Nice.
We're the captains now.
I'm going to also
at
kick
me.
him out the other way too. Wait, can I? Nope. He's an admin, so I can't kick him out.
That was fun. Was not expecting that. But just any more thoughts on that Marvel's trailer? There's not too much to talk about. It looks like a fun time. Is really the big takeaway
I
from
will
it.
say that whole little tantrum that she did when she got back into the kids' place.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, "Ah!" I think that's comedy gold.
I'm really looking forward to this movie for that exact reason. My biggest problem with Captain Marvel was the direction given to Brie Larson. I don't like the blame being put on her. That is ridiculous. Have y'all seen any other movie with Brie Larson? She's incredible. She's an
really
amazing
good.
actor. It's the direction. The directors, I think there were two of them in Captain Marvel. That I blame that, if anything, because it was just such a limited role of her range. And like you just said, like I think going into this one, I think people are going to like that character a lot more, including myself. I'm really excited to see the dynamic between the trio. Photon Monica's my favorite. I'm so excited to see her, but I don't think it's going to make nearly as much money. But I hope that audiences and people resonate with this one more, because we need more positivity in the MCU if we're going to keep moving forward in this universe. So I hope people resonate with this one more. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, same.
All right.
Taj, anything?
Nope.
I think it's gonna be good. It looks fun. Like that's pretty much like I agree with what Buddy said. Like I hope they let her actually act in this movie and not just have her so stoic. That's the one thing that bothered me about the Captain Marvel movie. I was like, why is she straight faced the whole movie? Like, let her do something. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun movie. Whatever we're setting up with Kang, I need them to start really getting to it now, because like how many movies are we in? Like and it's like
We've only
not-
seen him once.
Are we even
Well,
gonna get anything?
twice including
Well, that's what I'm saying.
season
Like,
one
if they're
of
going
Loki.
to change, if they're going to change the plan, they need to do it now because
Well,
Give us
apparently
Doctor
he's still-
Doom.
Yes. Again, I love
Oh,
the theory
yeah.
that Doctor Doom just like he goes to where all the Kangs are at the end of Quantumania and just wipes them all out.
listen, I would love that, but I want a Doctor Doom
I
done
will bring
properly
Doom
first
on you.
before we get him. Like, I
Yes,
don't want him to
yes.
just show up and then we're like, what the fuck? Doctor Doom just showed up. Like, I want him properly introduced.
Yeah,
Doctor
no,
Doom-
yeah.
Do the story right because Fox butchered him, and I don't
Well,
want to think about that no more.
From what I gathered, Kevin Feige said they're not doing an origin story for Fantastic Four, so you can
That works.
they can
I'm
drop
fine
Doom
with
in. Tag
Doom's
on.
going to be taking on the Beyonder. That's what they're setting him up for.
Mm.
And I really hope he's not the first villain of Fantastic Four because
He's not. I don't think they're
No,
going to do that.
I think they're going to build him up as a big Avengers level threat. I think he'll be most likely the next big bad after
I
Kang.
kind of want him to go against Spider-Man. Just saying, because that has never happened before.
I just want him. I want him recurring. I want Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Doctor
so
Doom,
bad.
Doctor Doom solo movie directed
well,
by
he's
Like
too
the
big of a
somebody.
original-
He's too big of a villain.
They casted a perfect one, I think, from the 2005 one. I
Yeah.
wish they would grab him and give him like a kind of like a Michael B. Jordan moment, and give him back like a one of those multiverse things where he comes through the multiverse. Since
No,
the
that's the craziest shit you've ever said. I gotta take a second. I love you, but that what? That 2005.
No.
We're gonna-
2015 one. You can
No,
actually,
you're right.
But they're both bad.
Of all the people you want to bring back, you bring back, huh?
I want the Human Torch. You know, Chris Evans. I want him
Uh-huh.
back as Human Torch. That would be
I would love that for Secret Wars, but not as the main
Yeah.
MCU
Right,
version.
Yeah, I would accept this as a Secret Wars cameo, but
I
I
still
think
want,
for
you know,
for
like,
main
I would-
timeline MCU we got to recast.
I think
Right.
the misunderstanding is I want a cameo, not him.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You could have
Yeah,
said that
I
from
mean,
the jump.
I'm
It's
good
an
with that.
Easter egg.
I
It's an
take it back.
Easter egg he's talking
take it
about.
Wait.
back.
I was cool with that one. Okay, I give you
Okay,
that.
okay.
They can cast their own Doctor Doom, but I just want him back because I want to be nostalgia.
We'll get
I
him.
got you,
It
I
just
got-
will
yeah,
be
yeah,
down
yeah,
the line.
yeah.
Like, I think the Fantastic Four first villain is going to be like the mole people or whoever they fight, like some lower level people. I don't know. I don't know the Fantastic Four's villains like that outside
Just-
of the big ones.
Just
but
not a
they-
Galactus
They're
cloud.
they're gonna pull a Spider-Man like where he's not going up against like Kingpin and stuff right away. He fought the Vulture. Like, I think they'll do the same thing for Fantastic Four. They have to. Just like the X-Men. When they do the X-Men, they can't start off with like, oh, Magneto's the bad guy, and then do like Apocalypse and stuff. Like, nah, Apocalypse fought Thor, man. Like, I want to see that in the MCU.
I kind of want to see the Spider-Man breaking into the Fantastic Four headquarters and testing their security system, and then pop in and go like, "Hey, I need your help."
It's going to be Avengers Tower.
See, I think to explain for them already having this thing for a while, but like not seeing them, I think they could be in the negative zone and dealing with like maybe like Annihilus or something like that in there, which would be really cool.
That would be fun.
I
That'd be
actually like
fun.
that idea.
I like that. Kata, any final thoughts on Marvels or any of this?
You know, the Bengals. You gotta explain the Bengals if it actually connects with Shang-Chi or
Oh yeah, I forgot
You
about
know?
that.
the big ring connection.
yeah. But just looking forward to seeing Mon Villani again. You know, she's actually perfect as Kamala Khan. She's actually a fan of
Yeah.
Marvel stuff and comic books,
Yeah.
so
And
it's
she's
interesting.
writing too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I heard about too. Yeah, that she's doing
have
some
like a-
comics and stuff.
They have like a little joke on set where if they don't know
Yeah.
something, they ask her.
Just as a Mon Villani, yeah.
That's
So-
really cool. I like that.
I mean, yeah, and the character's supposed to be like that, right? She's supposed to be like a fangirl of Miss Marvel, so she's gonna have that vibe to her, and you know,
Take pointer at Star Wars.
Yes.
Just wanted to throw it out there, you know.
yeah, looking forward to it.
On to our next topic, the
Yes.
animation.
Oh,
Yes. Swapping
so is
swapping
this in
across
the-
timelines.
Is this in the Tomorrowverse story?
Is what they're
timeline?
saying. Is what they're saying.
'Cause we're getting Watchmen too.
I didn't hear a confirmation either way. It sounds like there's this Crisis movie happening, there's this Watchmen movie
It's
happening
too early for
next
Crisis.
year, but there's no confirmation of whether or not this is
This-
like all animated worlds coming together, or this is the end of the Tomorrowverse to kind of make way for, you know, the fact that we're supposed
James
to
Gunn stuff.
combine all of James Gunn's new
Yeah.
DC universe under one kind of banner.
Yeah. This is what I was thinking. It's going to kill every single past project, just like completely end it. You can still have it. It's just in your DVD section. You know, you can watch it, but they're going to be like, there is no multiverse. We're starting with the DCU. That's it.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Yeah, I mean it's terrible, but it's the only way to stop people going. Oh, can Henry Cavill come back? Stuff like that.
See, everyone keeps saying like they're inconsistent, but they're very consistent with restarting everything.
Yeah.
Especially
We've
with
gotten like 10,000 reboots over the years, and it's just like we want a fresh start, and then they're like, oh no, let's connect it to everything, and then it's like,
And-
okay, we'll fresh start it again, and then
And James Gunn always wanted to connect things like connecting, like real connection, video games, animation, and movies. This will pretty much do that to him, for him.
yeah,
I'm gonna be so upset if I know he won't, but if the Spectre Oliver Queen doesn't turn up, I'm gonna be so annoyed. And then like I'm just gonna like, because I was there the whole time saying James Gunn, yay, this is great. He's a fan, he understands, he gets it. You know what I mean? And then the annoying thing is they already had like the rebirth they needed. They done a Flashpoint with the movie, but they already had one with Crisis. Do you know what I mean? I know everybody didn't see it, but they could have used that as, oh, well, this is why something is different now. It would have made sense. You know what I mean? Then they doubled down with the Flashpoint. Fine. Do you know what I mean? And then now, instead of saying, we've already done it, go watch one of our favorite projects over there, you know, like they're spending however much money making this and getting people to watch this. And
It's actually less than you think. It's only
And-
like
but less people are going to maybe watch this than the Crisis that happened on TV.
yeah. I mean, it also, they don't do a very good job of promoting these animated movies. Like I think what was it, Justice League Warworld just came out. Didn't realize it until it was already out.
and it
And
was
I'm-
bad.
And I'm most likely not going to watch it until it's free on Max. Like that's how I watch these things. Is I don't,
It's-
I'm not there day one. I'm like, all right, I'll just wait until it's
Direct to
free.
video too.
Yeah.
They don't promote direct to video, but they watch their sales, and their sales always skyrocket.
Yeah. I mean, I think just kind of everybody's under that assumption right now that the best way to do this Crisis movie is to have it be connected to the Tomorrowverse, kind of have it be a full like bookend to that. Now it does feel like they're kind of almost ending it prematurely. But I think again this might be just kind of the best way to do a send-off for that animated universe, while again James Gunn was saying like we can keep like Elseworlds projects and stuff like that. That's where My Adventures of Superman's going to fall in. That's where, you know, some of these other projects that are, you know, disconnected. I feel like Watchmen again is going to be kind of its own thing. That Watchmen animated movie going to be its own Elseworlds project. But I feel like the way that they're announcing it, it feels like it could be that bookend, but then again, it's Crisis. It could literally just be random animated DC Universe Crisis, and we're just going to try to get as many animated properties into one movie as we possibly can.
To go on to what this one said, I think she was considered a hybrid. Correct me if I'm wrong. She was a
Yeah,
hybrid.
I think she's going to be part mutant, part Inhuman in the comics, and it's just going to be like kind of rebrand Miss Marvel as the New Mutant, I think was what the subtitle was.
I think that works better anyway. She barely interacts with the Inhumans as it is, so it's like she don't even exist with them. So
Yeah.
I'm completely, and she was originally intended to be a mutant, so I'm okay with it. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
And what's your thoughts on humans in the Marvel outer space setting outside of Saber?
I like the cosmic side of the MCU. I think we spend way too much time on Earth. Like the fact that there is
Yeah.
so much out there in the Marvel Galaxy. That's why I love the Guardians of the Galaxy films so much, is because they are exploring, space
Nowhere.
travel, exploring. Yeah, literally, you can go anywhere.
Or nowhere out.
Nowhere at all inside a giant head of a celestial. But yeah, I love the cosmic side of things, and again, I think the Marvels is going to be a nice kind of jumping off point for that, and I think these next couple of Avengers films and the fact that we are still dealing with the multiverse and stuff is going to lead us into that a lot.
The algorithms comes with so Crisis on of Infinite Earths could be Tomorrowverse take on Justice League Dark Apocalypse War.
Yeah.
First of all, let me just say that movie was crazy.
Justice League Dark Apocalypse War.
Yeah, I loved that one.
That movie was insane.
It was so dark, but it's not like a Crisis movie, so it shouldn't reset the multiverse.
Yeah, but they just started the Tomorrowverse though. Like, why do Crisis when you don't need to streamline anything? Everything is kind of okay right now.
Yeah. It's probably so that there's no more confusion.
But I feel like there shouldn't be confusion because, again,
Right,
like
that's what I'm
we've
saying.
already been told that there is this Elseworlds
There's
banner.
no confusion, but
Right.
normally-
No, I know. Yeah, just for like general audiences, I feel like, again, they're going to be trying to streamline things a little bit further. But I wish that they would keep this around. There's a lot of aspects of the Tomorrowverse that I love, especially Jensen Ackles voicing Batman, and we haven't gotten as much of that as I wish we would have. But maybe if they are ending it, it opens up the door for him to come into live action with Brave and the Bold. That's my biggest hope there.
Goes into live action and goes, I'm Batman.
I mean, I get why they're not focusing on Batman a lot. Like the old continuity, if you really go back and watch all those movies,
it's mostly
Batman is in the
movies.
majority of them. So I get why they didn't do it, like focusing on more. And if he pops up as live action Batman, I might lose my shit. I've been wanting that for years, but yeah,
We would have this.
Wow.
You're waiting to bust that out, weren't you?
just been waiting to pull that one out.
I got bricked up one.
No.
Hopefully not.
Well, that would kind of be a good idea. I'm not even gonna lie.
I really hope. I also think that Watchmen is going to be before Crisis. They announced them both simultaneously at the same time, but it makes more sense for Watchmen to be, unless Watchmen
They're
is
about to do Doomsday Clock.
DCU. If Watchmen is introduced in DCU, then it would be after that, and after Creatures Commandos too, because that he said that was the first one.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's interesting because I don't know where they want to place it. Like, there's definitely an argument to be made that it takes place before this Crisis movie if they want to connect it to the old continuity, but they could also very much so connect it to the new continuity as well, because we do know that there are a lot of projects that have not been announced, and obviously the crossover between animation and live action and everything. I just feel like we got a really good live action Watchmen with Snyder's version of it. Like, I know again there's a lot of differing opinions around that, but I think his Watchmen movie was maybe his strongest superhero project out of all of them, and I just
felt like Sin City, like the storytelling, like how the characters felt really dark and mysterious, and also it felt like it was pushing R-rated too. Like, it couldn't go R-rated, but it felt like it was going there.
And it's interesting because the Zack Snyder one had that little pirate comic inside the movie, so we kind of got a glimpse of what a comic book kind of Watchmen. I think it was sort of connected to what was taking place, during the live action stuff. So got a little glimpse of what a comic book thing would be kind of like for Watchmen.
Yeah. And again, I don't know what they would do with this movie, because I know, again, like the live action movie kind of told the story in a very, comic accurate way. I feel like in a very, true to form way. and I don't know how much they can do with this animated movie outside of just, either retelling the comic in its entirety in an animated form, or maybe trying to, establish a completely different story, or, try to go into, say, like Doomsday Clock, like you guys mentioned. So I'm excited for it. I think Watchmen is a section of DC that doesn't get as much attention as maybe it should be or could have. So it'll be fun to see it in animation, and I wonder again if it'll be in that same like animation style as the Tomorrowverse, or it'll be the start of something completely new.
I really hope it has its own distinct visual style. I hope I see, because like we talk about Crisis being a part of the Tomorrowverse, but it's not officially been told that, right?
No, there's no confirmation.
I saw this announcement at work, and I went, "Oh fuck, we're just adapting 2 great graphic novels into movies." So I didn't even think about it being the Tomorrowverse.
And what's great about it, it doesn't even have to be connected, yet it's connected because it's the multiverse.
Sure, right, of course. But like, I don't know. I think it all just kind of depends. I think it's a little weird to think about. I don't know, because we talk about the live action Crisis. Only a certain amount of people watch that. Now we're doing an animated Crisis. Even fewer people are going to see that. And you're pairing Crisis and Watchmen together. To maybe not have any connection there is a little odd. I don't know. I feel like this is a very interesting choice. These are 2 very interesting choices to make animated films like right now.
Right.
I'm more just like ready to just see them. I'm kind of just whatever they do. I just want to see what happens. I hope they're good. But like, I don't know. It seems odd. The more we've been talking, I've just been kind of listening to all of y'all's thoughts, and I don't know where I sit on any of this. I just I'm intrigued, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, with a lot of the more recent, like animated films that have come out, the last one that I watched was that Batman: The Doom That Came to Gotham one, and that is very much so like its own Elseworld story. And I honestly really love kind of standalone animated films that aren't tied to anything and just kind of can be, their own take on a comic book story. So I think without kind of those limitations or anything. And again, going back to that whole Elseworlds banner, I think it really does, open up the door for these to just be standalone stories, not have to worry about, doing another universe reset, changing timelines, all of that, just because we've had so much of that in the past. Like, the original universe started with Flashpoint and then ended with Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, and then now we're into the Tomorrowverse, and it just feels like it would be way too quick to say, all right, we're doing Crisis now and another universe reset, just when we already also just had a version of Flashpoint in the movies as well, which is going to be our universal reset, jumping off point. So it just like, there's so much crossover, and the fact that the Arrowverse just did Crisis as well a few years back, it just, I don't know. I'm excited, but I don't know if
Flash movie be the reason why we're getting this Crisis movie. Like, they just realized that they can't. It's not going to pan out because there's supposed to be a sequel to it. So maybe they're like, we need a multiverse reset.
Yeah, maybe, and because they were building towards a Crisis in the movies before James Gunn came on board and everything, and that was one of the original endings for The Flash, is that Ben Affleck would have been in, I believe, the Nightmare timeline, setting up and calling out to Barry for a Crisis. So
what?
I don't know.
Do you know what the hell's gonna happen if they show a Snyder universe in Crisis? Do you know what's gonna happen?
Oh, people
they're gonna set the internet on fire.
There's gonna be more AI generated videos of people endorsing sell to Netflix. Like, it's gonna be even worse than the Snyder cut.
It's also going to be really
if we get
weird.
that again.
It's going to be also really weird if we see Earths that are live action and in animation. Like, we've seen like live action in the form of like the reverse, where we've seen like Titans looking at his cartoon self. It'll be kind of reverse.
I mean, they could do it in like a Spider-Verse way, where they integrate some live action elements into a mostly animated project. I think that might be the best way to go about it if we do get any live action crossover, but maybe the more streamlined way to do it would just be to, hey, get these actors in to voice these characters on their Earths, and just maybe change up the animation style ever so slightly. And like Darren said, we did also see the Arrowverse in animation before, so they could just always bring back that art style from those little short animated series or little movies that they did over on, I believe it was the CW Seed.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. I do have to say though, like I do think the Watchmen will be a pretty much one-for-one comic book thing, because if it is something like Doomsday Clock and all they've got is the Watchmen, then it's going to be a massive branding and advertising misfire completely, because I think a lot more people would be more inclined to see it. Not that people aren't. There's a lot of people that love this and will want to see it, but I think more would be interested to see the Doomsday Clock.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just something different.
On to the next topic.
Yes. Invincible.
Can this come out tomorrow, please?
Yes, this is great.
I need it. I missed the show.
Guys,
so much.
I'm sadly heading out, even though I fucking love Invincible. So I'm just gonna say one thing. I'm so happy we got Peter fucking Cullen. Fucking Optimus Prime! Optimus Prime, baby! Let's go. I gotta go. But listen, y'all, take care. Thank you for having me. Invincible, man. God damn it. What a great topic to leave on, y'all. Take care.
Yeah, you too.
You
Thanks,
too, man.
man.
Have a great one.
Bye, bye.
Guys.
Yeah, I'm hyped for that too. Peter Cullen, dude. Oh my god.
Who's he been cast as? I missed this.
He was in the trailer for season 2.
I don't know the character's name.
Oh, okay. I need to see the trailer.
Might have to look it up.
But yeah,
that how did you like it as someone who's just recently watched? Because
Yeah,
I watched it when it first came out, and after it came out, I immediately got into the comics. I was like, I have to know more about this world, man. And so,
dude, okay,
like,
so I was kind of
that's about to come. I'm just like, yes, like I'm ready. I'm so ready.
I was kind of procrastinating watching it for the longest time, just because like it wasn't like I didn't want to watch it or anything. Like I knew that there were like really good reviews for it. I knew people loved the comics, loved how or what it was based on and everything. I just didn't get into it right away because I knew that there was going to be such a big wait in between season 1 and season 2, and I kind of jumped in literally at the perfect time. The day that the trailer dropped and that the Adam Eve episode dropped, I decided, I was like, hey, I'm going to just sit down and binge all of it. I watched all 8 episodes that night, stayed up till the sun came up, and just got fully invested into this world. I now understand. Think, Mark. It's great. It's great. I love this world. I did so much like extra research and stuff, watched all of these, videos explaining the comics and, how similar they are. And it's crazy that, they're taking so much from the source material, and it's translating so well into animation. I know that the first season was at quite a lower budget than you would expect. You could kind of see where they maybe were cutting corners in a couple of places, but I really do think that it was a very unique animation style. And looking at those comic panels, it really translated to screen super well. I love how also when you're watching it on Prime, it does have like little like fun facts and trivia and stuff like that. It's like, oh, this relates to this issue, and it tells you which voice actors voicing each character. There's such like a star-studded cast here too. Like there are so many voices that you can recognize for all of these characters, and just the fact that it shows a different perspective on a world with superheroes, like a very realistic take, and it shows just how fragile people can be in a world of people of god level power. And I've just become a massive fan of this new world. So what did you guys think of the season 2 trailer?
Speaking of the boys too.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Oh my gosh.
I'm 4 episodes in now.
I'm pretty sure we'll talk about the Gen V trailer, but
yeah, that was a good trailer too.
Invincible is just so good, man. Like I don't even have nothing to say. I need the season to hurry up and come out because
how much does everybody know? Because I
am literally caught up on the whole story except for the ending. I didn't want to spoil myself on how the whole story ends, so I stopped after that. I was like, I'm not going to do it until after I watched it on the show.
I have a pretty good idea of how everything goes, and after watching also the Adam Eve episode, which was really good, which shows kind of us like the quality that we can expect for
she is
season
Solo
2.
in Green Lantern.
She's so powerful. Like everybody was like, oh, Scarlet Witch is the most powerful character in Marvel and whatever. You go over to the Invincible universe and look at Adam Eve. She's like the female Dr. Manhattan, is what I heard somebody say.
Marvel and DC would get worked.
Yeah.
The Invincible universe, I think, would work both. If you take out the super powerful people in like Marvel and stuff, like take them out, like straight up the heroes and villains versus the heroes and villains of Invincible universe. I think Omni-Man alone, the Superman is getting worked. I'm sorry. He's getting worked.
Yeah, and I know that the debate came up about like who would win among all of the Superman clones if you had Superman, Omni-Man, and Homelander all in a fight, and everybody was like, yeah, Homelander would get his stuff rocked immediately.
Yeah, he'd be first to get rocked.
Just the fact though, it's crazy that there's not like a kryptonite or anything for Omni-Man, but the fact is that you can just like, if you pummel him enough with like enough power from somebody on his same power level, like you can incapacitate him quite easily.
And that's the thing, they get stronger as like they fight
as they
more.
age.
So they're like Saiyans. Like
there was a lot of comparison drawn there as well, just like with the whole planet and stuff that he comes from. It's like a warrior race and all that type of stuff. So, and then going into
Mark is literally Gohan, like except Goku is evil in this story. Yeah.
Welcome.
Darren, how's it going? Talking
guys.
Invincible.
You're in the Invincible.
That's raised a good thing about time as well, and how you would deal with it.
Right. Yeah, I think just that final conversation between Mark and Omni-Man at the end of season 1, just he was like, in 500 years, what do you have? And he's like, I'll still have you.
You said, I'll still have you. That part hit me. I was like,
oh my God. He flew away, and the tears were like falling back down to the and I'm like, dude. And then if you know the comics, you know exactly what he'll have in 500 years.
Yes.
He has quite literally kind of everything he ever wanted. So
the story goes wild. Like I just can't wait to see how they adapt it.
Yeah.
There's gonna be so much off the wall stuff.
Like I'm so excited. I'm upset with myself that I did not get into it sooner, but also kind of glad that I did not have to go through the pain of waiting 2.5 years in between season 1 and season 2.
It's been a while.
It's been frustrating. Yeah.
Like I was literally able to hop in from watching all 8 episodes of season 1, then I watched the season 2 trailer immediately, and then the next day I watched the Adam Eve special, and then I've just been catching up with like all the comics and everything. So I'm fully versed now.
It was really crazy because it kind of like, I felt like no one really knew it like was a thing, and it came out, it had 8 incredible weeks, and it gone for like 2.5 years. It vanished, and it's been such a long 2.5 years, but like those 8 weeks were so much fun week to week, and I don't know how many people knew about it like after that first episode, but seeing the internet like explode, like, oh, this is a fun little innocence like kids superhero show, and then just the ending with like
the ending the first episode. I was like, what the hell? I was like, what just happened?
It's like it's such a good hook. Like I don't know if I've ever seen a better pilot hook to that. Like you have to come back. You have to.
Is it just like, oh, this is great. Oh, this is okay,
dude. I think I stood on the Amazon like player thing. It was just sitting there for like a good 15 minutes because I was like, what the hell just happened?
I hate that I was spoiled for it. I saw it all over Twitter for like a week.
I wasn't spoiled. I was so hyped.
Like, I don't know if I would have watched it if I didn't just see my Twitter like go bananas over the scenes. Tazz, I'm actually very shocked that you hadn't like seen that like going into this.
Like I'm sure I did see it, but literally the only thing I remembered was that was the final thing with just like think mark and like that, because I just keep seeing that meme like used over and over again, but I didn't know the context. I didn't know what the heck was going on. I didn't really know anything about any of these characters. When I was watching through the pilot episode, I was just like, oh, these guys are just like knockoff Justice League members. It's like Guardians of the Globe teen team. Like what the heck is this? And then I get to the end and I'm like, oh, real stuff. And then I love also just every time they cut to the title card, he's about to say, "I'm in." That's
very
that's great.
Barry. Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Next time.
But yeah, so Spider-Man 2, Insomniac Games.
The controversy.
Yeah, the face models and the
Seriously,
hair.
People still mad?
It's the second movie with this too.
I thought everyone liked it. I hadn't seen anyone like angry about it now.
I see some mixed opinions. Like it is what it is. Hey, these guys are gonna have Spider-Man masks on the entire time. Don't worry about it. I trust Insomniac Games. I'll say it until the end of time. They are my favorite game developer. They created Ratchet and Clank for the PS2 back in the day. That was kind of, you know, my big game back then. I still love it to this day. I'm excited for the PC port of Rift Apart coming out tomorrow. Hopefully my computer does not explode when I try to play it. But yeah, I loved the first game. I platinumed it within like a few days. Loved Spider-Man Miles Morales as well. And then going into Spider-Man 2, we got Venom, we've got 2 Spider-Men, we've got the symbiote suit, we've got, you know, a whole rogues gallery, we've got just like everything you could ever ask for in a sequel.
I do hope they put like at the end of the game where where you should have a choice instead of, you know, switching between like Spider-Man to Miles Morales to Mary Jane, and there's probably going to be someone else. I really hope at the end of the game that we can switch between Miles Morales and Spider-Man in the open world.
I think just outside of missions, you can swap between them. Like they're going to be, from what I've heard, there's mission.
The like Dark Knight Rises, they had this coin where you pick it up and you switch into Catwoman.
Oh yeah, no, it's not like that. From what I've seen in the trailer, they're both real time.
No, I mean like you can switch between them. Like
yeah, I think like when you're in the open world, you can swap between them. There are going to be certain main missions and side missions that are specifically made for Peter, some that are specifically made for Miles. But I would assume by the time you're done with the game, you can freely, you know, swap between the two of them. But I think that there are certain missions that are locked one or the other.
Yeah. I was talking about the open world.
Yeah, I think it's pretty free with that.
What killed the Justice League trailer, the gameplay trailer for that?
That was there a new one?
No, not recently. Just I'm saying, like, that's going to be the same kind of switch.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be like that, I imagine, but like over the city. Most likely,
or almost like, you know, I know a lot of people don't love this, but the Gotham Knights game, how you can kind of just, you know, go back to the Belfry, freely swap between whichever character that you want, depending on, you know, the play style. Yeah, I had fun with it as well. I'd had some performance issues on PC and console, but if you get past that,
I didn't like
or
it.
you can play the game Miles Morales, and like you can choose to be Miles Morales, or you can choose to be Peter for the game, and then you can have the open world at the end where you both.
Yeah.
Listen, man, Miles got dreads now. He cool. He moving up in the world.
Yeah, I liked Miles' hairstyle.
I did too. It filled out his head because
Yeah.
his head always looked really big to me in the game, so the hairstyle kind of fills it out some. I like it.
Yeah.
People on Twitter have been freaking out over it.
The Peter face, the Peter one.
Which one did they use? The remastered one or the original?
I think it's a new one.
It's
the remastered one?
It's the remastered one, but it's like slightly updated.
Yeah, slightly updated. And
I think here's the thing.
I like the old one.
The biggest thing with a lot of people is, if you look at it, it's the hair that's changed a lot. And I think with that and the slight graphical updates, the fact that this is made specifically for, you know, PS5, Series X, RTX cards and everything like that. You've got the real-time reflections, you've got the ray tracing and everything, so things are going to look slightly different. But here's the thing: when you're in game, when you're swinging around the city, when you're playing the story, when you're doing the combat and everything, it's not going to matter what these face models look like. It's going to be a fun game regardless.
Yeah.
Do you know what my tiny nitpick is the way the suit is textured. The symbiote suit.
Oh, the symbiote suit. Yeah, it's not like
it's not
it's
just
like
one
very
big loop.
yeah. Yeah, it's like kind of slightly armored in a way.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That feels weird for me.
It's like Venom in the movies.
Little bit.
Yeah, like a little bit like.
I actually, what's funny is I actually have 3 favorite suits, and one's the Crimson Cowl, one's the 99 Miles Morales suit, and then the other one is the classic, kind of like Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire, web design, like it pop. And then there's also the one that's the 2020 suit where it kind of looks like a neon mask, if you know what I'm talking about, where the spire symbol is digital.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
That was pretty cool.
Darren, you got any updates on this? Because I know last time you said you were still finishing up Miles Morales, I believe, or you did just finish it?
I'm done with Miles. Yeah, I'm done with Miles. I'm very excited for this game. I don't know if I'm playing the game just because I don't have a PS5 yet. But yeah, no, I mean, just that trailer got me so hyped. It looks just like on that same level as, the first one and Miles, but on another scale. Like, I'm watching that trailer and it just feels like a movie trailer. Like, it looks like a big budget, like Spider-Man story. And I think that's why we all kind of love these, because I feel like it's almost like a combination of everything people love about Spider-Man, right? It's these iconic villains, it's these deep emotional stories, it's these characters that we have spent so much time investing. But then it's in like a time era that we've been begging to see Spider-Man in. Like, this is like an older Spider-Man in a world where he hasn't faced off against all these villains, which is kind of like that perfect like combination of what we all want. So yeah, I'm so excited to dive back into this world, come in swinging, I guess. Just looks like a fun time.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this. Real quick, Cameron in chat. So like Assassin's Creed Syndicate missions in Spider-Man 2. Yeah, I feel like it might be similar to that, where you can pick, which character fits the playstyle for the mission, and just kind of freely swap between the two of them whenever you would like. Before we get into the Midnight Circus, Kata.
I don't play video games.
You don't. Okay.
I mean,
okay.
I'm happy you guys are excited though.
Okay. But here, it's the best time to get in, because there's a exclusive Spider-Man PS5 that you can get, and if you already have a PS5, this is the thing that I love. You can buy the side panels separately, and just like snap them on to your current console, which is really cool.
You might as well start playing games. Listen,
this stream has been brought to you by PS5.
Late November to the rest of the year, we might not have anything to watch. You might want to get a game,
or at least like watch a fun like walkthrough, or like a compilation of all the cutscenes or something.
Watch some Rad Bread.
I'd love a DLC where like Miles, like depending on how they get rid of the symbiote, if Miles gets a bit of it, just for one DLC arc.
It would be very cool, because I have the Miles Funko that's like Venom and Carnage combined, which is that would be cool.
That would be kind of like spot on, because wasn't one of his attacks Venom attack, where he electrocutes someone?
Yeah, it's called the Venom attack.
Yeah, I kind of guessed that, but him being as Venom attacking.
Oh yeah. Double Venom. Yeah. Think ready. Yeah, ready for the Midnight Circus.
Sorry,
I'm listening to it. Darren's listening to it. Is anybody else keeping up with this?
Okay. This episode gave us. We had a rap presented by Captain Cold and Alfred Pennyworth. and it was
What?
the greatest.
Yo,
thing
Alfred,
I've
drop
ever-
the beat.
It was the greatest thing I've ever heard.
What is going on? I
This
kind
is
of
the
want to
most-
hear it though.
No, it's like it's actually really good. Like
It's good.
It's
Just go.
absurdly fun.
It's within like the first like 3 minutes of the what is it? This is the 5th episode.
Yeah.
So just go if you can
I
get
might
into
have to
Apple
listen to it.
Podcasts. Just go on there and listen to it. It
Oh,
was
yeah,
a
I have Apple Podcasts.
a rap battle between Captain Cold and Pied Piper.
Wow.
Could we actually pull it up? I don't know if it's copyrighted or not.
Yeah, I wouldn't play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't
You're
play
right.
it. But
You know what?
yeah.
Later, if you guys follow me on Twitter, I'll try and pull it up and post it over on Twitter.
Yeah,
because
or if
it
we
is
can find
really
like
funny.
if we can find like a transcript for it, we can maybe try to like do a horrible recreation
Oh,
on stream
gosh.
tomorrow. I'd
That'd
be down
really
for
funny.
that.
That'd
I'd be down
really
for
funny.
I'd
But
actually
yeah.
stay up for that stream. I usually come in for like the first 10-15, then I'm like, all right, I'm asleep. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed.
No, I mean, like this is one of the weird things because again, I didn't have hype going into this podcast. I thought I'm like, all right, I'll be something real basic, but like it makes me sad it's a podcast because I want more people to experience how funny this is. Like it kind of has. Its vibe is really weird because it kind of has a mix of like a Legends of Tomorrow and just the form of its like goofiness, but then it also kind of
which era of Legends? 1 through 3 or
you know
know.
what I would say like season 3 because it is
Okay,
very
that works, that
like
works.
it's very goofy at times, but like there's an episode like there's a moment in this episode where it's like him and his dad and they have this like conversation about Nora and how that's affected both of it.
Yeah,
Like
she's
it has some real serious moments as well and has a lot of heart as well. And then there's those vibes of like midway Flash, right? Your season maybe 4 or 5 of Flash where it is, I don't know. I don't mean that in like a bad way, just in like the vibe it kind of gives off to me. So yeah, no, I mean I would say if you like DC, if you like Hunger Games, watch it because that's what this is basically.
You mean listen to it because there's no watching.
Well, no, here's the thing. You listen to it and
I've
then
never
you
seen
close
Hunger
your close your eyes and you visualize. Like I think that might be the best thing about this is they do actually a very good job of, audio storytelling and kind of setting the scene through just like different sound effects and like crowd noise, and they play that little flash whoosh every time that he's changing set pieces and everything. And like when they all went into the Mirrorverse in this week's episode, like you could kind of visualize how the layout is. He comes to a fork in the road and there's one Mirror Master and then a mini Mirror Master, and it's like if you go through this door might kill you. If you go through this door, this is the right one, but this guy lies and I tell the truth. And Barry had to like deduce which door to go through, and it was fun. Like it's just ridiculous, like Flash fun. And I think that in many ways this podcast nails a lot of the elements that you would hope for in a portrayal of the Flash that we missed out on in the movie.
No, I mean, no lie, I like this more than the movie.
Oh yeah.
Wait, are you guys imagining Grant Gustin as Barry or Ezra Miller as Barry when you're listening to it?
You know what? It's weird because it's supposed to be Ezra Miller. Barry. Like it's supposed to be that version. But I just kind of imagine, who I think of honestly, it's more in line with like the John Wick, or not John Wick ship, Michael
John
Rosenbaum's Wall-E almost. Like it kind of had that
you're
vibe
right.
a little bit.
Yeah. It's like I get kind of just like oddly generic animated Flash.
Yeah.
But like in a good way.
That works.
Yeah, like if I had to pinpoint it to one we've seen before, it'd be Michael Rosenbaum. But even though that's Wall-E, I know. But like, no, I think Max Greenfield, again, I love him from the like New Girl show. I think he's amazing. But like, I kind of want to see his take if that's in like an animated show, if that would be in some kind of live action. Like, I think he does a very good job of kind of harnessing, I guess, what I like about the Ezra Miller Flash, but also tuning, like making it his own as well, because it feels like a very organic Flash, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this would almost be what the Ezra Miller Flash would have been like if they tried to lean more into Barry actually being Barry in a way. Like, there's a lot of elements that do feel very Barry Allen about this. But then again, like you said, there are a lot of comparisons to be drawn to like Michael Rosenbaum's Wally West. but I don't get the weird like Bart Allen quirks that you get in the Ezra
Sure.
Miller version of Flash. So I think it's a good middle ground there.
Yeah. I think it's honestly like again my only issue is if you think it's that same version from the like DCEU, because like that's what they tried to push on us at first.
Right.
And like those first two episodes, I was like, if that's the same version, and honestly, this episode I think proves it's not. Like his talk like with his dad about like, well, like what if you could go back and save mom? Like, you know, like what would you do? I think that to me at least proves either he doesn't remember the events of the movie, or it's a completely different version.
Yeah, I think this was always set up to be a completely different version. They just decided to say, hey,
To market
it
it,
overlaps. It overlaps because there's nothing definitively saying it's not connected to it, but just the fact that the Flash movie underperformed and they're bundling it with the digital versions, with the DVD Blu-ray combos, that type of thing. That's why they wanted to go this route. Miata does say Henry and Barry talking in the Midnight Circus was really good. Good reminder of Barry in the Justice League again. Yeah, I mean, that was a very, just like, maybe the most emotional that the whole thing ever got. And again, it was some really good world building, and I think, like, I'd be so down to see like a full-on like animated version of this this version of Barry, have this actor return to do the voice, because that's been my favorite part, is just hearing the voice, and it does feel very Flash to me, and just all of the different world building elements, all of the different references to different characters, all the just like random cameos, and just like, when did you ever think you would hear Captain Cold rap battle? Like, it's great. It's great.
What was it? 2 episodes ago, we got a tennis match against Blue Beetle and Deathstroke, I think.
Something. Oh yeah, and then also the biggest thing, I guess, is Barry and Iris are gonna have to like kill Captain Cold, and then it's gonna be a 1v1 of Barry versus Iris. Like, are they gonna do like quick scope team deathmatch on Nuketown or something? Like, is that how we're gonna end this?
I think, my gosh, you just brought up some past trauma.
I think I think Barry and Iris might team up to kill. You know what I think it's going to be? I think Barry's going to get his powers back, and then it's going to be Iris versus Captain Cold, and then because I don't see a way, unless it's like a writing challenge or something. Like, I don't see a world where Iris beats Captain Cold. So maybe like right before she dies, he can like reset it all and go back home.
Yeah, something. Like, I feel like it's going to be, like, maybe Barry and Iris take down Captain Cold one way or the other. He's just going to probably fall into the abyss that is the mirrorverse. And then it's going to be Barry versus Iris, and then Barry's going to have to maybe, like, somehow he's going to get his powers back and then, like, fake his death, pretty much, because he's got his powers. Maybe he'll vibrate so fast that he'll turn invisible.
Sure.
And then everybody's going to be like, where did Barry go? But... This next episode coming up is going to be the finale, and I'm very excited.
How sad.
You ready for our topic?
Yep, we are.
Yeah,
we are ready.
What the hell? Hold on, can we talk about Gen V real quick? Because this one about to be spicy. Listen.
Yeah, I'm not super caught up on The Boys. I literally just started watching it. I'm like 4 episodes.
You can watch the trailer. You can kind of watch the trailer and not be spoiled by anything.
Yeah, it's very different. So
it's I don't know if it's a comic or if it's based on anything.
I'm kind of jealous. That's awesome. You get to see. Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, I literally like I've been missing out on these two. On Invincible, I'm finally all caught up. I'm all good, but now I'm starting my Boys watch through. So
I have a hot take. I don't think The Boys is that amazing.
That's what my brother told me.
I think the first season is really good, but after that, like season 2 was kind of Season 3 was better, but I'm kind of like, can we do something else?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was told. Is like I was told like first couple of seasons are like they're pretty good, but like season 3 kind of picks up.
Yeah, I don't know. I loved it. I love all the political stuff and making fun of.
I like that stuff. I'm just like, are we getting anything else, or is this how it's going to be? Like the entire series. I'm kind of getting bored a little bit. Like,
I think it's good, but we need a change after.
Yeah, like it needs to change.
I can't do Homelander for 2 more seasons. I think it has
You have to.
I'm
end his
actually
story.
shocked at
It's
how
kinda-
little Homelander there's been in the first few episodes that I've
Just
watched.
wait.
Okay.
Just wait.
But no, and also it's
Yeah,
kind of funny
why
too
not?
is that the fact that the main guy is Huey is the
Superman.
voices
Yeah.
voice of Superman.
Yeah.
It's like but it's weird. I don't hear that voice that he does for Superman in.
Really, I
That's
can't
probably
not
an
hear it.
actor,
It's
you
w-
know?
Yeah, I know it's the same. Yeah, I know it's the same.
I
I
don't
know it's
hear
the
it
same
at
actor.
all.
I just
I
don't. I
can't
don't hear
not
the
hear it.
voice.
Yeah, I can't not hear it. Every time I hear Superman like with Lois, I'm like, I can hear it. I can hear it.
You know
it'll,
what I
it'll
think?
probably ruin it for me now.
You know what I think is kind of funny because like the whole point of The Boys is basically to make fun of these stereotypes that is
Yeah.
DC. Like Homelander is a anti-Superman in every way. I don't know if you got to that point. I guarantee you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And but my adventures is literally going back to the roots of what DC
Yeah.
is, right? It's like what it stands for, and I think that's really funny that he plays such a massive part in both.
Yeah, but the Gen V trailer gave me New Mutants vibe, just better.
Mhm.
Yeah, like a
It
good
looks
movie.
like it's about to be crazy. I'm excited to watch it. I have my reservations. I don't want it to be exactly what The Boys does because
Yeah.
I'm like, why be a spinoff then? You could have just put them into
Sure.
this show.
There's been nothing in any of these trailers, and I bet I'll like it because I didn't like the trailer for like The Boys either. Like I
I
saw the
didn't either.
trailer and I was like, nah, I'm good.
I was like,
Uh,
Evil Superman, I'm good on this.
yeah.
I don't need it no more.
There's been nothing in any of these trailers that make me be like, you know what, I want to watch this. Like the only reason I'm watching it is because it is a spinoff.
I'm watching it because I'm a simp,
I
and Jasmine Sinclair is in it, so I'm gonna watch it for her. But other than that, I don't.
I'm excited for the show to blow me away. Like because I bet it will be good. I think it's
I
like
think
the
it will
same
be.
team. And I think it's a fun kind of twist. Like it's very like Sky High, like The Boys. And I think that's
Yeah,
setting because we don't have many like superhero college settings. I guess like sometimes Spider-Man, right? But like there's not a lot of that. So it is
that's
kind
what I
of
want X-Men to do.
sure.
I want X-Men when they bring them in the MCU to be more like X-Men Evolution, where they're like younger. I think that'll be a best thing. Instead of them being all old, like Wolverine can still be old because he's old anyway. Storm can still be old,
Yeah.
but like let everybody else be young.
Yeah, like
So we
I
can
loved
have the
X-Men
cast
Evolution.
around for a while. I did too.
hmm
I
So
thought it
is
was
this
underrated.
is Gen V gonna be is it a prequel? Is it a
It's a spinoff.
it's
Yeah,
just a spinoff, so it's
it-
just
Simultaneous, yeah, because Ashley's in it.
Yeah, there's like these characters are very established, and I've
Okay.
heard one like I've heard you kind of have to watch this to watch The Boys season 4. Like it goes season 3.
It's
Oh,
this,
kind
it
of
goes-
it's
it-
required.
oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I gotta get through what I
When does this
season
come
1,
out
2,
again?
3.
September, like the end.
Because
of
it's
September.
like when does Invincible come? Because those dates I'm getting confused. 'Cause when does Invincible come out? Like November?
November, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got it right now. Because I
Yeah.
don't know what the full,
Honestly, fall's packed. Like we have this, we have Invincible, we have Loki, we have Echo.
Yeah, Invincible's November 3rd, I think.
Yeah.
Aren't they chopping it in half? Like the
Well,
first.
Yeah,
Invincible-
the first
Invincible,
half is airing
Yeah.
at the end of this year,
Yeah.
and then the
Oh,
second
that
half will
sucks.
be the
Oh,
beginning
that
of
Four
next
and four.
year.
Yeah.
That
Which
sucks.
honestly, I'm okay.
I'm okay with that.
Oh,
yeah,
you
I was
are?
about to say, I'm
Okay.
actually okay with that.
Well,
Yeah, take
here
a break
in between seasons or in between the first and second half, you can play. There's that Adam Eve's Steam game coming out that looks like a Telltale game. Might have to hop on that and do a let's play or something.
I think it helps too because if we don't have anything, I guess that's why they're doing
Yeah.
it so they can stretch it out. And I'd rather have that. That's why my Avengers and Superman. When do they take their break? Because I know they have a break coming up.
I'm not.
It might be
I don't
after
even know
episode
how.
five.
I don't know how many
It
episodes
might be-
they are. There is
There's
I think it's 10 or is it
10
13?
episodes.
It's 10.
It's
Okay.
10, yeah.
But,
So
but
then
they,
it might just be
We're about to
after
get,
this
what,
next
episode
week.
5?
We're about to be episode 5, so that would be mid-season
okay with that.
exactly.
Like
they better not do what Doom Patrol did though. Like Doom Patrol hasn't even come back yet.
There's still
Back
no
down.
release date for that.
Yeah.
is there?
What's
that's
going
because
on
that's
there?
that's on Max. If it was on like a regular
Yeah.
station, I think it would have dropped already. I'm telling you, they about to put it on Tubi with the rest of what they
Yeah,
did
there's-
with the Nevers or whatever they did.
There's episode 3, and then there's a 10-day break for episode 6.
Okay.
Oh wait, no. Episode 6, there's still no break.
Oh, is it just gonna
Doesn't-
air straight
no
through?
break?
It doesn't look like there's a break. 10 days, 17 days, 24 days, 31
Yeah,
days,
why
and
did
then
they say it was a break
38.
then? Okay, well,
don't
I
know.
guess that's fine.
ends September 1st.
We're about to get so much between.
Yeah, I was scared that there was going
Yeah.
to be a break between episode
The
4
end
and
of
5
this
because they
month.
didn't drop the trailer immediately at the end of the episode. That like took a day for it to come out.
Yeah. This is the slowest I think it might be all year. Like, I think this year we're packed with stuff, and then next
Yeah.
year we're going to have nothing.
But everything is packed from like the end of July to
Yeah.
like the beginning of November. So we got
Yeah.
so much.
December might be
And then
kinda dry.
here,
Yeah.
I guess
December is
just
going
really
to be
quick.
dry. I think so.
It kind of relates to this. The Ahsoka episode release dates August 23rd, episodes 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah.
Then it's going to be airing. It's got 8 episodes, so we're going to be getting Ahsoka from the end of August to the beginning of October.
Is that going to overlap with Loki then?
I don't even care
think
about Loki
so.
at this point.
I don't
think
care.
Loki
Yeah,
would come
but
out,
Really?
yeah,
I mean,
like
Star
later.
Wars is Star Wars, so I don't think it's gonna like.
I love
get-
Loki, but unless
I
we
mean, I
figure out
definitely
what's
watch
going
this.
on
If
with
I had the
Jonathan
choice, I'd
Majors
definitely
and
watch
stuff.
Ahsoka over Loki.
Ahsoka
Yeah.
over you, yes.
Yeah. 100%.
I wouldn't,
I'm
but
kinda-
that's me.
Derek, did you get caught up on Rebels?
No, I haven't even started Rebels.
Oh,
I haven't even finished the first arc of Clone Wars
there's
yet.
77 episodes of I
Oh,
think
God.
of Rebels. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
But
no
I
way
mean-
to get caught up in time.
You've got a lot more work to catch up
Oh
on than
my
I do because I
gosh.
only had 8 episodes of Invincible. You've got like 800 episodes of Clone Wars and Rebels.
Oh
Yeah, you
my
have
goodness.
133 of Clone Wars.
I am trimming it down. I'm
You
only
don't-
watching.
for the
big
most
stuff.
part, you just have to watch Rebels. though.
Yeah.
Yeah, just watch Rebels, maybe. I mean,
But there's a
Ahsoka's-
lot of important stuff in
Yeah.
in Rebels.
We'll watch Rebels first, and maybe Clone Wars
of the
later.
important stuff happen in Rebels in terms of this storyline that's going on.
I mean,
Yeah.
like you could technically just watch, like, say the Mandalore
You could-
arc at the
you
end
could
of
just-
Clone Wars,
yeah,
and then
see the
go to
Mandalore.
Rebels. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can skip. You can honestly, if you want to, you can skip season 1 of Rebels. I think it's a
Yeah.
mixed bag.
Yeah,
season
'cause-
1. But
Yeah,
season
because
2
Ahsoka
through
doesn't really
4
come
was
until
amazing,
season
but-
2. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then just go to like Clone Wars season 7, the final season, because that ties in with Revenge of the Sith. You know, the very end bit where
Yeah.
the last
Oh,
time
we
she
making
sees
Star
like,
Wars movies. Oh lord.
Yeah, this is gonna be an intense one.
wait, you guys don't have the Clone Wars movie in here? Some people count it.
Right there.
I mean, live.
That
No,
movie
no.
is terrible.
No, the animated
Oh,
one.
no.
Yeah,
Animated
live.
one.
Okay, some people count it, but okay.
Yeah,
Let
it's
me-
not a numbered. It's not.
If
like-
we count that, we have to count the holiday special, and I don't think anyone wants to do that. Okay.
no.
Let me.
And then we'd have to count like all the Lego specials
I
too.
also have,
And then the Ewok
Yeah, like-
shows, Ewok movies.
I also have them
Can I
explode,
just say I'm devastated Visions isn't considered canon?
No, it can't be
Visions is so
canon.
good.
Nah.
It is so
I
good,
love
but it
Visions.
is like OP because some of them characters, I'm like, they would murk most of these Star Wars characters.
They're so cool though. I really think like they could do so much with it if they just, you know, because they try really hard to make it not interfere with the rest of the saga. You know.
Yeah.
I
So-
think whatever episodes and animation does the best, like let them spearhead like a canon Star Wars show, like give them an animated series and just let them.
They just need to make a Star Killer series.
You gotta
Movie.
nerf him though.
Oh, the
He's
Or-
powerful.
now,
No,
like-
don't nerf him. Just let him be as
You
powerful as he needs
can't.
to
You
be.
can't.
Just let him be overpowered.
You can't have him exist because then it's like I always had an issue with it. Like he beats the bricks off of Vader in that game, and then he beats Palpatine. It's like, okay, you got somebody that strong. What is Luke for?
You promised you would nerf him. I
Yeah,
lied.
he can almost
as
fly.
I have from the
so.
very beginning.
That's what I'm saying. Like he be doing no.
The first
All
one
right.
up is episode 4.
Episode 4.
I think-
I mean, these are all S. The originals are all S.
They're so good. It's like it's hard to not put them in S.
Yeah.
This is the second best movie
Like-
of Star Wars of all
This
of them.
is New Hope, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I'm
it's
not
hard to
as-
argue. It's
yeah.
hard to argue not putting it in S tier. Like,
Yeah,
of
the
course
lowest,
it's-
the
of
lowest
course
it could be
it's
is
S.
the lowest it could be is A tier, just because I would say Empire
No.
is better.
Impossible.
But
It's
Yeah,
my
if-
second favorite.
Is,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
it before or after George Lucas got his greasy mitts on it all over again?
Oh, you mean the remastered? This poster
Yeah.
is the original.
yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
F, cool. F.
I
made
love the
sure-
original version.
Yeah,
He's added so much stuff. There's people walking in, like there's CGI stuff walking in front of the character.
It's so hard to find the originals though without
my grandfather has the originals on VHS. Like he has the original VHSs. So that's how I got introduced to Star Wars.
That's money right there.
So the next
Listen,
one.
I'm telling you, I'm like, either pass that down to me because all he
Oh,
has
the S.
You got to put that
This
in
is
S.
S.
You got to put that above. You got to put
This
that above.
this is the
Sorry,
best
yeah.
Star Wars movie ever.
Would you
Yes.
say Spider-
I have one that I would put above it, and you're gonna hate me.
Which one? Oh,
I
are
know
you
which one
gonna
it
say
is.
Last Jedi or something?
No. Well, I'll say it when we get to it. When we get to
I
it.
know which one it is.
Oh, Rogue One.
No, it's not Rogue One.
Oh, this is still S.
I think it's S.
It could be. Some people would say
I
A,
think
but
A. I think
because
A,
of the
honestly.
Ewoks. But
The
all
Ewoks.
these originals have to be, or else we'll get canceled. All of us if we don't
I
put it
think
in S.
I think A tier because we can't.
I think
Like
A
literally,
New
this
Hope-
entire
I
list
think A
could
New
be S
Hope-
tier.
I think
Yeah.
A New Hope is better than
Yeah.
Return of
Yeah,
the
New Hope is definitely better than Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
I think it's like a
Non-biased people.
See, this is okay. So this is why I said a tier system of which one goes in which order would make more sense because it's S S S S S.
Yeah. I think honestly,
No,
we just need to do a 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
The
We
other
just need to
ones
do it.
aren't S.
Hold on, time out. Whoa.
Okay, then we should put A New Hope up.
You said
in
all
front
the
of-
movies were S?
No, not all of them are
Not
S.
all of them, but most of them.
fight.
Prequels are all around C and below. Oh no, this is F. This is F.
This is
No,
A
we
for
could
me.
go
F.
like a
Oh, wait.
a B
Wait.
tier or
F.
C tier.
No, this is the lowest one you can get.
No.
Really?
This is
Yeah.
Now this is pod racing.
Unless you saw this when you were a kid, then you know. I mean, I understand if this was what you were brought up on, like this was the first one you saw.
Dude, I'm a prequels kid. Like I love the prequels.
But even amongst the
got a soft
prequels,
spot
this is
for
a
'em.
bad one.
No one talks about this movie outside
It's
of
my
Duel
least-
of the Fates and the pod racing thing.
Yeah, it's my
I
least
don't
favorite
wanna
of the
talk about this
prequels, but it
movie.
has its redeeming qualities.
I mean, the CGI was revolutionary. What they did with this.
How about
Okay.
we emphasize and put it as C?
No. I was talking about this with 3 Dubs the other day, right? This movie has so much to set up, right? That everyone complains is too slow and everything else, right? It's the start of what he knew was going to be 9 movies. Do you know what I mean? In the 80s and 70s and 80s, he knew he was going to be doing episode 1. He told Mark Hamill he knew he was doing this. Do you know what I mean? He didn't need to start off with like gigantic boom, and he's already the chosen one, and boom, he already gets this. Everything had to make sense. Do you know what I mean?
While I'm not
movie
fighting
makes sense.
that, it wasn't executed the best.
Yeah, it was not executed properly, and Jar Jar
That's
Binks.
the biggest issue with the prequels. He did it by himself. He shouldn't have did them by himself. He should have had.
And
help like
he
did.
used too much green screen and stuff like that, and not actual sets.
Like
and,
Anakin and Obi-Wan's relationship is pretty much non-existent, really. Like I don't buy their relationship until Revenge of the Sith. Like they barely talk in this movie.
Yeah, but
I mean, they're not supposed to be
yeah,
in this
like,
one, but
it's supposed to be like this big tragic thing. Like the look on his face when Luke brings up his dad. It's like,
well,
dude, like,
actually,
I'm sorry.
that interview that they started to do, that this actually was more important to the rest of Star Wars with the Darth Maul fight, that this
The
determined
stuff that Dave Filoni was talking about.
this determined the future of Anakin, that because Qui-Gon was killed, that Obi-Wan was like a reluctant, a mentor to him, and then instead of a father figure, he got a brother figure instead, and then that led to him becoming Darth Vader. Because of that, he never had
though.
What's that?
I still don't think it was executed well.
Yeah, it wasn't executed properly, but I mean, it gives more context and more significance to this movie, but it's still, not a great.
Listen,
I
if
think
you
this is
love
the
these
worst.
movies, I'm not trying to talk anyone out of them. I still
Yeah.
watch the movie. I will put this on. Like I'm not saying it's like,
And this
but but I'm being realistic too. I'm like, listen, this movie is pretty bad. Like outside of like one part of the movie, it makes no sense. Like people complain about Rey doing something, Anakin as a kid blew up a freaking star station. No, like no. I'm not.
This is
doing
a
it.
kids movie, I would think.
And also, I'm biased. I don't like the Chosen One prophecy thing. I hate that with anything. So I don't like it in Star Wars either. I hate it. I can't stand it.
What are midichlorians?
Do you not like LeBron James as well then, because he's the chosen one?
I
But this
can't
is the
stand
thing, I
LeBron.
feel
Do not
like-
get me on this tangent. I cannot stand LeBron. I've never been a LeBron fan. Don't get me on the tangent right now, please. Basketball season over. I don't want to think about it. Okay.
With how the
The Duel of Fates was an awesome soundtrack, though. The song.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This sounds like one where we might have to meet in the middle. Like we all have to say our number and then find whatever one is that
Just
middle
put it
ground.
in C. Just put it in C. I feel like
I'm
Okay.
okay with C.
I can't.
I'm
I can't
good
put
with
it
C
any
too.
higher than that.
But
I
there
can't put
are
it
not
any
worse movies than this one, though.
I disagree.
Oh, there are worse.
I disagree.
You mean Last Jedi? Last Jedi?
I mean,
We're
people are gonna-
in episode
all
episode
gonna
9.
disagree with that. We're all going
I
to.
can't-
Okay,
I
put it in
can't
C for now, and then we'll come back to
Yeah,
it.
we can rearrange it if we need to.
I
Yeah.
can't agree with anything
We're gonna be
lower
moving it a lot, I think.
than look, B is the should lowest, surely. That is horrendous.
You're gonna hate where I want to put Attack of the Clones as well.
Oh man, this one's bad too. This one's
This
bad.
one-
This one's like at least E.
Wow.
Bro, I cringed through this entire movie.
Yeah, the relationship between Padme and Anakin is bad. The writing for him.
This is my third least favorite.
And
But
also,
the stuff with Obi-Wan
And Django.
and
Yeah.
Django and then Anakin and his mom, I love that small portion, but the rest of this movie is really bad. The Battle of Geonosis is good too, but like
And Count
even
Dooku.
though it's a bunch of-
Movie's good. So,
I love Count Dooku.
And the arena is okay too.
Yeah, like
Yeah, the arena scene is pretty decent, but
solid
I,
B tier.
I think this is
B tier.
I think this is worse than Phantom Menace in my opinion. That's just-
No,
Really?
no.
I
just
agree.
wrong.
I
That's
agree.
What?
I've seen people say that.
I
Yeah.
can sit through Phantom Menace and not get irritated. The Anakin and Padme stuff makes me want to
Yeah,
rip my hair out.
you have to
cannot
kind of
do
fast
it.
forward.
It's so cringy. It's really
Yeah.
bad, and it's not their fault. Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, and they've all talked about him not being able to really direct dialogue and stuff. So
I think also George can't write. George doesn't. write
Yeah, I
very good
heard that
dialogue.
his
He's not
wife
really
was
good at it.
actually corrected a lot of the stuff in the originals, and then
Yeah, and he also had help by other people, like Spielberg and stuff like that was involved. Like I think he shouldn't have did these by himself. But like I said, I think it's worse than Phantom Menace.
okay, this could
say
be a
this-
D.
This
Yeah,
is one that
I'd
I.
say D.
This is one that I like though more whenever I go back and watch it. Like I always think I'm like,
When
oh,
I
people
watched
don't
them
like
in
it.
order, I like it better.
Dooku,
if I'm
Dooku's
watching
pretty
all
good
of them.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dooku and Yoda's
amazing.
Yoda's fight, yeah.
Dooku
I
is
mean,
one of my
they
favorite characters.
They shouldn't have killed off Darth Maul, but
I'd personally put it B tier, but I won't.
and I kind of like the clones, the Phase 2 clone troopers.
Okay, that's horrendous. C, surely. If anything. Like, what the hell is happening here? It's an S movie in D. I don't understand this.
I can't. I can't.
What is going on?
I'm being non-biased. That's what I'm saying.
sorry,
one,
S
I'll
tier,
say this
S
one is
tier,
S
best
tier.
movie,
I'll-
best
I'll-
Star Wars movie of all
This
time.
is
Oh,
this
no,
got
I
better.
disagree with that one. I disagree
This
with
got
that.
better with
disagree
the
with
Clone
that.
Wars TV show. This made it a little better.
The Clone
than
Wars
it
animated
used to be.
series enhanced this movie.
Yeah, it did. It did. So it used to be one of my bottom tier ones, but now it's probably like
Oh, no,
a C.
it was never that low for me, but I love
It's
this
probably-
movie.
This
'Cause
has and
I could
will
watch
always
Avengers
be my
too.
favorite Star Wars movie.
The dialogue's still bad in this, but
Empire Strikes Back.
S.
It's not better than Empire Strikes Back.
oh no way, no way.
I can't put it over that
Let's
movie.
be non-biased and put it in A.
No, let's put C. Oh, we can put it in A, but we'll
I would
put
say
I think it's an A or S movie. Like I
Yo,
really
put
like
it
that.
put it in S tier. I'll be okay. If
Oh
you
no,
put it all the
no,
way at the end.
not S though.
It's my favorite.
I think everyone that disagrees with Kato on this one.
Oh really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I really
love
love this movie. Like I
The
really love
dialogue's
this
still
movie.
bad though, with between Padme and Anakin too.
Yeah, but we don't get a lot of it, so I don't have to complain as much.
I mean, okay.
There's a few things where I'm still like, ugh. But for the most part, I love this movie. I'm not gonna lie.
It's an A for me. Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I saw this in movie theaters, and it was.
I did too.
I mean, I've seen all the prequels. I've seen everything except for the originals on the day it came out in theaters.
Democracy is hard.
This is probably
I love
C.
this movie.
I think it's a B. I think it's a
I think
B.
it's a solid B.
Okay, it could be B. Okay,
I
I
think
mean,
it's a B. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie.
it's
Yeah,
not
it's fun.
essential, but yeah. I mean,
Can I just say I love Donald Glover doing?
Yeah,
Oh,
we got
it's great.
Yeah.
got Bambino.
Probably
Where's
the best
my
cast
Where's my
person in
Donald
this
Glover
movie.
Lando show?
It needs to happen. Yeah.
It's still in development, but now because of everything that's going on, it's definitely getting pushed.
Oh yeah.
We got
not getting
Childish
that for a while.
Gambino.
I
Oh,
hate
this
Rogue
one's
One.
S. This
I
one's
hate Rogue
S.
One.
But this could be A because the originals are still better.
This movie was amazing, dude.
This was amazing in theaters, like when that Darth Vader scene.
I'd have to put it. I mean, you'd have to
The-
put it A tier just for the Darth Vader hall.
And the space battles are really good too.
This was the
I'm
first
happy with
Star
that,
Wars movie
honestly.
where I stood up in the theater when Darth Vader showed up at the end.
And that little tribute
Uh-oh.
to Princess for Carrie Fisher, because right after this one she passed away, so it was like
Right.
they had a little
did.
tribute, like dedicated to our princess, like Carrie Fisher or something on the end credit scene.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rogue One blew all
Credits.
my expectations away.
This is still good. This is like a B.
So am I the only one that doesn't like Rogue One then?
Oh, wow, really?
Oh, you don't
I-
like Rogue? Why
I
don't
find
you
it-
like it? Why
I
don't
don't-
you like it?
I don't love
Okay.
it, but like I don't not like it.
Okay, so I was also pretty tired when I saw it. But
Oh, you only saw it once?
I've seen it once, and it was one of the most boring pieces I've
I
ever
saw it.
seen.
I saw it like
It
3
was-
times in movie theaters.
I mean, I wasn't a Star Wars fan when when
Oh,
it
okay, that
came out.
makes
So
sense.
I
That
kind
makes
of
sense.
so I binged all of them at once, and this was the one where I was
Aw.
like, I'm bored.
Oh, you didn't see it in movie theaters.
Nope. I've only seen
Yeah, it
one Star
takes-
Wars movie in a theater, and that's the latest one.
Oh, the worst
Unfortunately,
one.
You've been
One of the
missing out
worst
then,
ones.
dude.
I don't think these movies. Well, this one.
Well, this one's good. This one's
I
good.
had a good, I had a good
It's very
experience when I saw this one. I
Yeah,
mean,
I saw this
I'd say
in
solid either C or B.
Yeah, I saw
think
this
it's a
like
B. I think
4
JJ
times in
did
the
a
movie
really good
theaters.
job setting up all of this. And
Yeah, because there's
we'll
so
talk
many
about it when we get to it,
expectations.
but
So many expectations for this. So I think the new characters, Kylo Ren's great. I mean,
I would say.
this is F.
F.
no.
This
no,
broke Star Wars because and Solo didn't do well because it came right after this, and there was this backlash against Star Wars for this movie. So that's why Solo, I don't think, did very well because of that.
I feel like this movie is very misunderstood.
This one, a lot of people will love it or hate it, but I would hate
Yeah.
it. I hate it.
Would it be weird if I secretly said this might be my favorite of the sequels?
Yeah, you would say that.
I'm just
You're
weird.
one of those
I'm
guys.
just weird. I'm sorry. I'm weird.
There are people that go the other way, that love it actually, but
I don't know why. I just every time I've watched it, I've had a fun time. But
I think
'Cause
it's like
I understand the criticisms. I
I
really
mean, this
do.
is a slow car chase the whole time. It's just
And the whole, like Hermit giving
Oh,
up on Jedi.
the way
Yeah,
they
I don't
Luke.
like what they do with Luke at all. But I just
They-
feel like it
fucking
looks
hate this
it
movie.
looks really good, and we've got the big like Praetorian Guard
Won't
fight
suck
scene and
me.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. There's a
But
lot
they-
of and there's
that's
a lot
the
of
thing.
Kylo Ren too.
Killed
You
off
could've- you could've-
Snoke.
You could have replaced those guards with the Knights of Ren that was set up before. That's why I'm
Yeah,
like,
sure.
there was so
And then they
much that
wasted
JJ set
and then
up
they
and
wasted the
just
Knights of Ren in
wasted it.
episode 9.
Like Snoke was supposed to be a completely different character.
Yeah, or
And
it should
Ryan
have been
just
Darth
killed them all.
Plagueis or something.
That would have been cool. That was the theory that was going around at the time, and I was kind of for it.
Because
Over here, the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
JJ had to course correct again right after this because
And I don't even think that because he wasn't originally supposed to come back. I think he was asked to do that. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think he originally was like, all right, let me do this specific storyline. I think
Colin
Disney,
Trevorrow was
I think
supposed
Disney
to
was like,
direct.
listen, we need you to come fix this because
Right.
we're gonna
Okay.
get a
This
backlash.
is something again that I was talking about with 3-dubs, right? So even with like a chosen one per se, right? Along their journey, even if like whether or not they like, oh, I'm great, I've got this destiny. Along the way, they get told you're nothing, you're nobody. So for everybody to take that to heart, just because somebody says that, instead, there's 2 ways that they could have tried to turn Rey if they knew who she was. Do you know what I mean? Behind the scenes, right? And that's pamper her up, at which point she could go a whole other way, or strengthen her, test her mettle, and make her strive and then seek the power later. Do you know what I mean? Turn her a different way. Making her say she's nothing, you're nothing, and then making her stand up and say, screw you, I am somebody. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah, it's nice that anyone can be like one of these special people, that it doesn't have to come from the lineage of an amazing Jedi like a Skywalker, and you can be as powerful as Rey, and then they just went back and said that she was a Palpatine. So
Yeah.
it just
Well, that's
ruined
because
it.
in the
Kind of
first,
why
like,
I
in the
Go ahead.
novelizations, I think JJ set it up there so that she was supposed to be like
Luke's kid.
Luke's kid.
Yeah.
Like
I heard
originally,
the-
his
I
plan
thought, too.
when she showed up to see him, he knew exactly who she was.
Yeah.
That's why I'm mad what Ryan did with it. I was like, no, like
Or
Oh,
that they didn't have a roadmap the whole way through already.
Yeah, it should have all been planned out from the beginning.
Yeah,
It felt like
yeah.
all of these movies were playing like tug of war. Like
yeah.
7 was going in one direction, then 8 went in another direction, and then 9 was trying to pull back everything that happened in 8 that pushed it off course and just kind of
And,
tried to like haphazardly fix everything and ended up satisfying nobody.
and they didn't have the original 3, the Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher in one scene together.
Well, here's the thing.
And also the fact that I think Princess Leia was supposed to be integral for 9.
Yeah, they set it up for 9 because this one was supposed to be a Luke one. The 7 was
Yeah.
supposed to be a Harrison Ford or a Han Solo one, and then because she passed away, yeah, we couldn't
Listen,
have
we
it.
were never getting all 3 of them together. Harrison
not
Ford
anymore.
hates Star Wars.
Yeah, he's done with. I
For
mean, he
some
wanted to be
reason, he
killed
doesn't
off,
like
and
it.
that he finally got it. That's why
That's the only reason why he came back. I'm telling you.
That's
now.
why they got him in Carbonite too for Return of the Jedi because they didn't know if he was going to come back.
I would
So
love to
that's-
ask Harrison Ford, like, listen, in that contract, you wrote you had to die, right? I guarantee you he would say, yeah. I don't think he was coming back for more.
So where are we putting this one in?
I don't like this movie.
I don't like this movie because what it did to this fandom too.
I think it had some cool concepts. I think this whole trilogy was wasted potential.
And they split up all the gang too, like Poe and
Yeah.
They should have had Finn
yeah.
and be the Jedi character, not Rey. I think they should have misdirected.
Or they should have just both have them
Well,
both.
I mean, she could have been Jedi, but like them all go with Kylo and them do Gray Jedi instead of just Sith and Jedi.
and
just
Poe
in the
was
middle.
actually force sensitive too because he was
They set it up in the first movie.
because he's brought up near a force tree when he was a little kid, so and that's why he can shoot so many. He's such a good pilot.
Oh yeah,
Wait,
that's in the comics.
Wait, which did you guys put it in?
I don't know.
F.
What?
I don't think it deserves to be F. Like, I'd say move it up 1 because I'd say Rise of Skywalker is my F. I'd say Rise of Skywalker is my F tier, but I don't.
Put it in the middle.
again,
Put
I'm
it
not
put it
gonna-
like C because like it's
Yeah,
like
we'll just later.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all torn about these.
This I actually like this one. It was okay.
Keeps it out of F.
Oh, I don't think it should be an F. Last Jedi.
Oh no, I don't either. Even though I don't like it, but
Yeah,
I understand why some people do like it.
Because there's enough people like it.
I
Yeah.
literally said E or F, and everyone was like, "I hate this movie. I hate this movie. I hate this movie." So I put it in F.
Oh my bad. Let's not-
Put it in E and then put this one in F.
No, this
No. This one's not an. This was better than Last Jedi.
the endgame moment at the end alone keeps it out of F.
I
don't know. I can't blame this on JJ though.
yeah, he
Like,
had
I
to fix a
literally-
lot of stuff.
Like I think they literally brought him in and was like, "Hey, can you please like whatever ideas you were gonna do, can you just do them?" They should have just gave him the whole trilogy. Like this was
But-
stupid.
Yeah.
This one was supposed to be called Duel of Fates and had a different script, and Colin Trevorrow was supposed to direct it. So
Did y'all read the
Yeah.
script?
Yeah.
It was fucking amazing. Oh my gosh. I'm so mad we didn't get that.
What happened? I
Wait,
haven't
who
read
was that? Oh, you haven't read it?
What just happened? What happened?
Like they were supposed to go back to like I pretty much I it's been a minute since I looked at it, but a lot of the things was like even though Luke was gone, he was going to be training Rey as a Force ghost.
Yeah.
They were going to go back and free Coruscant from
think-
the remnants of the Empire. Like,
And, like,
it
I
was a
think
lot
Rey-
set up.
Like Rey got like blinded, but then she had like a double-bladed lightsaber or something
Yeah,
too.
like I was like, dude, all this stuff sounds so good.
I think like did Poe die? Somebody died. I feel
No,
like.
him and Finn were like freeing the people. Cause remember, it was
Okay.
like concept art of someone getting like, what's the little things that like chop people head off? Like
Oh,
back in the day?
guillotine.
guillotine.
Oh yeah, there was like
but
a
it
like a
but it was
like a
laser
lightsaber
one.
guillotine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a laser one, and they were like saving people from that. I was like, dude, all of this looks so cool.
Yeah,
Like,
it was pretty
Kylo
wild.
meets- he goes to like a Sith planet, and I think he talks to like Vader or something like that. I was like, bro, what the fuck? That movie sounds so good. I need it. Someone do an Elseworlds or something.
That's the one thing with Star Wars. There's no multiverse. There's no Elseworlds.
Did y'all hear something? Someone reported that like Ahsoka is going to open up the multiverse. I was like, please don't do that.
It's a world between worlds.
So.
It's not exactly multiverse, but it's somewhat like it.
And it can't do time travel, so
into live action, which is kind of like first.
The strange thing about this is that I think this trilogy is going to be looked upon more fondly once.
Yeah.
Just like prequels.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be exactly
just like
a repeat of the prequels.
happened, like everything like build in between, and then it kind of enhanced the movies and stuff.
It's gonna be the kids that grew up with these movies once they're old enough to start talking about it online and stuff like that. They're
then
like, oh no, these movies were great.
Then there'll be people like Tazz that says that Phantom Menace was great. You know,
yeah.
Just people like, oh wait a minute, he already says that Last Jedi is great.
I don't know where to put this movie.
So
it has some good ideas, but it was
maybe C.
I don't know, bro.
It's an F for me.
I think they're both. I think Last
Jedi. I'm okay with D.
I think Last Jedi and those two movies are both equal. Like I think they split the fan base so bad. It's just either you hate them or you love them.
I think Last Jedi is worse.
I don't know. I think the ideas and concepts in Last Jedi, even though I like the movie, I think it was better than Rise of Skywalker. It was more creative too.
Rise of Skywalker, well, it's more rewatchable. Rise of Skywalker. Last Jedi is just not watchable.
Is Solo above Phantom Menace?
Oh, Solo is better than Phantom Menace.
Solo is better than Phantom Menace. I'm sorry. That movie is really good. You haven't finished it yet, but that movie is really good.
Wait, you haven't finished it?
I'm 20 minutes.
What are you doing?
I'm talking to you guys.
But at the same time,
I mean, that's a good excuse.
Like Tazz, like this was his first Star Wars experience with the prequels, so I understand why he feels that way. Like I wouldn't bash anyone's opinions. Like I don't care. But
I watched the original trilogy first, so.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I watched the original trilogy first, but I watched the prequels more, if that makes sense.
Like I watched the prequels. I like the prequels, but I'm just saying, like objectively, if I'm not being biased, it's not the best. Like yes, but
I was
like
11 when they came out. The prequels. I was like 11 when they started coming out, and I love them, and I still love them, and they're all S tier.
Did you not?
Same. I agree.
Yeah, you grew up with them though. That's what I'm saying. Like. And there's a little bit of bias in it, but that's
100%. I recognize that there's a lot of bias there, and
like,
there's a lot of bias for the original trilogy for people that grew up with that. Like it's
I don't think it's biased.
I mean, there's no, but that's objective. Like objectively, it's
those movies are actually that good. Those movies are actually that good.
Yeah, it is that good.
I think no one here has ever grown up with the originals.
Yes, well.
But I mean, technically, if you watched them before the prequels,
like, if
you grew up with them,
because they actually released the remastered ones.
I don't think any of us are that old.
But they like released the remastered ones in movie theaters too. You know,
I didn't see the remastered version.
They had them on VHS, like a gold and silver set. They were awesome.
Like did you know
original ones?
Did you not watch the originals before preparing to go see the prequels?
Yeah, of course.
Oh no, like Tazz.
Yeah, no, I watched the originals before I watched the prequels. I watched them in the correct order.
Yeah. See, everybody in here are different ages though, so
I watched them in the correct order. I just gravitated more towards the prequels, and I don't know why I did. That
was our era of the movie. So
I
get it. Like I said,
and I think it was also a lot of just because Clone Wars was coming out around the time when I was growing up as well. So that was kind of something that drew me.
Wasn't Clone Wars a lot later than?
It came out after Revenge of the Sith. It came out after Revenge of the Sith.
So I mean, you can't say that prepared you for like Phantom Menace or something.
I didn't know about Star Wars until like Episode 3, and then I prepared by going back to watch 4, 5, and 6, but they didn't have 4, 5, and 6, so I just watched in order. So I just did that, and then I watched 1, 2. I'm like, I just spoiled myself.
You have to though.
Everyone knew.
why would
You
I
gotta watch it.
the
You
ending
gotta watch
before
it 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Come on.
I'm like, why would I spoil myself? And I was like, I didn't mean to unintentionally.
But that's the great thing about prequels is you learn about characters that are already developed.
Yeah.
Like,
the joy is seeing how it unfolds.
Yeah,
not
how
learning
Darth Vader
for the first
became
time.
this
Yeah.
way.
It's not
Reading a
about
book,
the
scripting,
destination. It's about the journey.
Even
Yeah.
if it wasn't done the best, you know.
It's like I like reading a book. I just skip to the end. Oh, look.
And the real treasure was the friends that you made along the way.
Exactly.
Like I don't know.
I was like, I was lucky that I watched 4, 5, and 6 before 1, 2, and 3. That's how lucky I was. But I'm like, I just read the end of the chat. Like I just flipped to the end of the book and went like, oh, he dies. Okay.
Well, you know, technically that wasn't the case. Technically, Anakin and Vader were two separate characters. So technically, you didn't spoil yourself ahead of time. But you know, everything changed.
But
I wish we could see like an alternate
Skywalker
timeline.
found out that Darth Vader was his father. Like you just put Skywalker in your head and you get Anakin.
Have you heard
Yeah,
about
but
the psychology of the jump when he gets his legs chopped off?
No.
Yeah, because apparently he idolized Obi-Wan's fight with Darth Maul.
Right. Yeah. He tried to pull that same trick.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. He wasn't.
That
there.
doesn't make sense, yeah, because he didn't idolize Obi-Wan.
He was in the ship blowing up something.
Maybe like he heard about it or whatever, and he's like, "Hey, this worked for Obi-Wan. Let me try it."
Yeah, but that
it's
move,
like,
that move.
Like,
Didn't
I
really do
understand,
anything. Like he
but,
just
like,
jumped
not-
over him and cut him in half.
No, he was just so arrogant that he
Was he
thought he
trying to-
could beat him that
Yeah.
way.
Was
Yeah.
he trying to cut
That's
Obi-Wan
why
in half?
that's why when Obi-Wan says like don't try it, he knows what he's going to try to do.
Yeah, it's like reverse psychology. It's like
Yeah.
you can't do this. It's like, yeah, I can.
You underestimate my power.
Or
I think we could all agree. I think Ewan McGregor was the best actor in all these movies. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He was probably the only one that I didn't get like a stoic performance from. I was like, okay, it's some emotion there.
yeah, and then people came back on
Hayden
Hayden
was actually
Christensen.
really- he was good
Yeah.
in the third movie, but that second one, I was like, Jesus Christ, what are they doing with him? Because I don't think he's a bad actor. He got so much flack for being a
Bad
actor. I was like,
script.
I don't think he's bad. It was just
Yeah, or just
the
not
direction
the
was bad.
best directing. Yeah. It was,
yeah. That's why I said George needed somebody.
Jacob!
Episode 2 he did really good. The scene with his mom and then like the anger he displayed, like killing all those people. I
But not the love scenes, the Padme scenes.
That's 'cause
Those
they-
are
I don't
bad.
like Sam.
It's
Yeah.
so
They were so
forced.
cringy,
Of
bro.
course.
And rough and
And it
irritating.
gets everywhere.
And it gets
But you're
everywhere.
soft. But
And
you're
we're not
soft.
gonna- and I don't know the laws in Star Wars world, but that's a little petty. I'm not gonna say the full word. I don't know how it worked with YouTube, but you know.
Oh, okay.
Because Padme was how old?
Well, and then he might have used the Force on her to make her fall in love.
Oh God, I just didn't buy that romance. I was like, what the hell was going on?
But they were actually dating in real life, though.
Did they really?
Yeah.
What the?
But
hell?
they broke up when they were doing like the premiere for Revenge of the Sith or something, so it was kind of awkward for
I
them.
thought he dated Rosario Dawson.
Sorry, Dawson.
I heard something about them dating back in the day.
Really? I think that
I don't know.
Natalie
If it's true,
Portman
that's
and
kinda crazy.
Hayden was dating at some point.
That's kind of crazy if it is true.
Yeah, dating Ahsoka. Your apprentice.
Okay, question: is he popping up in Ahsoka? I think he's yes.
Oh, 100%.
maybe
100%.
Force Vision or
That's what I think it is. It's a Force Ghost.
Either Force Ghost or World Between Worlds.
I don't want them to do that
no world between worlds with that, but
because then people gonna complain. Why didn't she just take Anakin out? And I don't
Yeah,
have time to hear flawless, bro. I don't. No, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So, wait. So did you guys even watch like Resistance?
No.
I watched it.
I watched the first episode and I was like,
it was bad. But that's even connected sort of to Ahsoka because we see Kazuda Xiono, the main character's dad.
He is dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, breaking news: Netflix is advertising for an AI position that would earn the candidate 900K per year. That
Jesus
same
Christ.
figure would qualify 35 actors and their families for helping roles.
Yeah.
This is just.
And apparently, I sent 2 links, but there is
Yeah,
another one. Okay. The other one almost sounds even worse because apparently, like, studios are trying to convince theaters to like convince people inside of the like SAG to like stop, right? Which is absurd.
Studio executives plan to speak with the National Association of Theater Owners to convince SAG that a long strike could damage the theatrical industry. The long strike would be caused by studios continuing to refuse pay to actors and writers fairly.
Yeah, just pay your freaking writers, guys. Pay them. And we're done.
It's like y'all
Yeah.
y'all not creating the content. So why y'all complaining about
You don't have
you wouldn't have anything, right? Like you wouldn't
You
have
have
anything.
0 talent, so you have 0 say.
It's ridiculous. It's really
All
ridiculous.
you do is rearrange money and be like, "That's a good idea. That's your your role in the whole film industry. You have no talent whatsoever other than you passed college."
Yeah, I mean, you know, they obviously well, most worked their way up, right? But there's clearly a disconnect between the creators and then the big like CEOs, right? There's a clear disconnect. And I wonder how long it's going to take them to be like, all right, fine, let's give it, because I think it's going to be a while because they had a chance to stop, right? Like they knew this was coming for a while. They had the chance to give them what they wanted, and they haven't. So I think we're in this for a while, and that there's something so almost scary about this whole situation. Just like Netflix being up there and wanting to give AI artists, like AI, more attention than the writers is so scary that is something that is even an option for people.
And
like,
not just theoretical industries, but also it's hurting the film industry too because they're losing like 18,000 a week.
Yeah.
And it's like how you don't want to pay the actors, but you want to pay someone to create digital versions of the actors.
It's ridiculous.
I feel like the person that like they've spoken to, if that person has that discussion, they've got no backbone, right? Because if they did, they would have said, well, pay them then. Do you know what I mean? Because there's nobody that can have any sense that can have that conversation that they've asked for. It's horrific. It's so stupid.
And I sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, they just need to pay these actors and these writers fairly. Like, bottom line, they need to stop, like, studios need to stop trying to find shortcuts and ways around this. It's like, don't pull an AI, don't try to, go these odd scenario routes and everything like that. Just give these people what they deserve, give them their fair pay, because they are putting so much work into this industry. And I think there's just some sort of disconnect here with the higher ups and with the studio executives that they just need to understand, like, hey, this is how these people make their living, and without them, you would not have an industry.
And speaking of another SAG one, it's old news, but it's still new fairly. Dwayne Johnson donated 7 figures to SAG,
which is great.
Which is like big. Woo!
Yeah, their biggest donation ever, which is... I also want to mention here, and it's something I hadn't really thought of until this had come out, is how theaters would be affected if we go through another dry spell. Like, COVID almost killed the whole, like, industry. Like, they really suffered, and it's just recently with, like, Top Gun and, Spider-Man, a lot of these big hitters that feels like they're getting back on their feet. But, like, I would... just for their sake, obviously they should never make this deal. Like, clearly, like, they shouldn't, try and do any of that. But I would be very fearful what happens if we don't have any content for 2024. How does that affect them will even more shut down, which would be very bad because we've already had so many. Like I know the like Regal Cinema shut down like almost like 700 theaters or like something crazy. Like it's bad for them currently. So I hope we can find some kind of middle ground soon for everyone's sake, you know.
So Ragu.
Yeah. So he's saying that Jet Li turned down the role of Seraph the Matrix sequels because he didn't want his fighting style to become an intellectual property.
There's also
that's- and that Jet Li was already seeing the future. Yeah, it's insane how studios and stuff now want to basically turn actors and performances and stuff into just like AI, you know, ready to go, like we don't need you anymore type of thing. Like that is awful. Like these people are, you know, this is how they make their living. This is how they want to, you know, express the creativity and everything like that as well, with just acting, writing, directing. And it's again, there's just this disconnect between what the studios want from a business perspective and just how the industry should run from a creative point of view.
Okay, sorry guys, I gotta leave. But
All right, see you, buddy.
it was like, yeah, it was fun, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.
Of course. Have a good one.
I feel like next year is going to be the year of improv.
Oh yeah, 'cause
Unscripted content.
We're not going to have anything to talk about.
I kind of want to bring up, and this might be a weird kind of reference, but Film Theory had made a video years ago, sometime after Mando Season 2 had come out with the whole Luke thing. Obviously, that was very cool, but he made a whole video on saying how the future of the industry, if we don't stop things, could be AI, could be a whole like Luke Skywalker movie, but like with the AI that they used in the movie, and it was his concern on how, if again we don't step in and step through, that's what our future could look like. We could have an Avengers movie with dead actors, right? You know, we can have in 20 years you could do a like Harrison Ford indie movie without Harrison Ford, and that was his concern. And kind of looking back at that video, I can probably link it over on Twitter if anyone is like interested, but like it's coming true. Like that's kind of what we're fighting for. Like that could be our future if we don't stop this now. It's so concerning to me, man.
I don't think we're going to be that bereft of talent in the future that we're going to have to resort to them being like the star of a whole movie. You know what I mean? Like, I think they were trying to go for the whole nostalgia feel to line up with Keaton being in the movie to kind of hit home with a lot of people maybe. But to go for like a whole movie, I think, yeah, that's... I
think...
Sorry. It's also a little bit mortifying when you bring dead back to life.
Mm-hmm. I think in moderation, I'm fine, right? If like this is something the families want, families okay with, like Ghostbusters is one where like I didn't have an issue with them bringing back the old actor. That wasn't an issue to me because the family was okay with it, everyone around was okay with it. That's fine. But again, I think the issue comes in. I just think we need a limit. Like we need a line that we can say we can't cross this line. This is it here.
We just can't have AI performances replace actual performances by actual actors or actual scripts written by real writers. Like I think that's the big thing that needs to be kind of stated, and like that's kind of the line that you don't cross.
Yeah,
when they're I think they started with the aging people to to do like flashback scenes. I think they will work on that before they like try to make an entire movie about a dead person that just came back.
And again, in like moderation, I think that's fine. Like I think what they did with like Nick Fury is okay, but again, like I do sometimes wish we would do more recasting, because I think recasting is a tool that we need to see a lot more of. Like again, the like little bit of Luke we've seen, I think that's okay. But if we really want to bring him back, get someone new, get a new actor that can play that character in, whatever time era that they want to do. I don't know. It's just like I saw a like interview. It was something where like they were talking about the future of the industry and what it can mean, and they talked about like, okay, just going home from a long day of work and going on your computer and typing in a thing, and you can make your own movie. that's the scary thing. That's the thing we need to put a stop to, I think, because that, to me, like when you can just go on our iPads and create our own film, the industry's dead. Like that's the end of it. That's like why go to a theater? Why pay for art when you can make it yourself? And that's the issue.
Yeah. Ragu kind of bringing it full circle here, mentioning just Rogue One and how they did a lot of that, kind of revival CGI, I guess you could say. And I think that ties into
his family gave a blessing, though.
Right. And I think that's an okay scenario.
And they used a family member as a stand-in too.
Right. And I think that's kind of like where the gray area comes in, is like just how you use it, maybe using it sparingly. But if we're gonna have like a full movie, like when we go into like Heir to the Empire, if we have that full movie with like CGI Luke, like that's gonna be weird. I think we need to kind of do what they did with we need to do what they did with Solo and just kind of recast. And I think that the audience can kind of suspend disbelief there and say, hey, this new actor that looks somewhat like the original is this character, and just kind of again separate that actor from the character and not have to involve the overuse of AI and CGI when it's not necessary.
And people probably need to be less in touch with the actor playing that role. Like, for instance, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and you got like Doctor Strange.
He's one I will not move on. Benedict coming back as Doctor Strange.
And Mark Hamill as Luke, because and also Harrison Ford as Han, and we can't retire Princess Leia, and we have already seen she's recast because we've seen
and she did great.
Yeah, she did great.
She was amazing.
Wait, who are we talking about? The little girl? Or?
Yeah,
the little girl.
I don't think that one counts because that was a little kid.
Yeah,
but it's like full on flashbacks.
Yeah, that takes place before the original movie.
You're not going to get Fisher to come back to play her.
They can technically keep that actress.
No, use her daughter.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
If she pops up in Heir to the Empire,
just in Rise of Skywalker, like
exactly.
And she had like the little face thing to kind of.
Yeah, I think that would be the best route, and they almost don't even have to do that. Like I said,
she actually looks very similar to her mom.
Yeah, like they could just let her play Leia.
And she's a really good actress.
She is.
Her in American Horror and stuff, but she's great.
She's really good.
Yeah,
I think they just let her do that. Luke is gonna be the hardest one though. I think out of all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that the stand-in that they have for him, honestly, that from like the Mandalorian behind the scenes,
I know who you're talking about.
I think he looks pretty good. Yeah,
but I think it's one of those characters where I just feel like no matter what they do, people is going to be like, no.
Yeah.
Aside from like maybe Sebastian Stan, I saw that fan casting going around for a
while. He's too old.
I
don't know why people wanted that. He was way too old.
And also,
depends when, I guess.
Reboots are also a great way to recast people. Like you've seen like Narnia getting recast twice.
Reboot? You're talking about rebooting the originals?
They're never going to reboot Star Wars.
Like,
no.
I know they're not going to, but it's another option to recast.
Just expand on what we have.
No.
I would say Luke's look is difficult anyway because they've already given an in-universe explanation of why he's difficult from episode 4 to 5.
Yeah.
So that
got mauled by that thing.
I'm saying it's possible. I'm not saying it's probable.
Heresy.
And that, but if they want a recast, they can reboot the entire thing.
I think Star Wars is on that small list of franchises where you can't reboot. Like I said, you could reboot that, like the MCU, but I don't think you could reboot the.
Star Wars is kind of, you can't do time travel, you can't do reboots, you can't really do multiverse. I think the best banner is Legends. That's kind of the furthest you can go with it.
Who's finished Survivor?
Wait, what happened?
Who's finished Jedi Survivor?
I have.
Right? Perfect, right? So this is what I mean. They've got like a whole avenue of where after 9 they could just completely expand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, it's a lot of things they can do with a lot of characters.
Oh, yeah.
You could take Ezra, Ahsoka, what's Hera and Kanan's son named Jason, and have them have their own story during the events of these movies and just build upon them in the movies. Rosario Dawson's been in movies, so you can easily do it.
You have that like first Jedi movie where you can have a whole era where it's just that. Like there's so much there. You know, I don't know a lot about Star Wars, but I assume you could just have 10 years worth of story.
They could do anything at that point.
Oh yeah, Dawn of the Jedi is like
nothing,
like
nothing
1,000 years before
right.
or something like that.
It's literally like the first Jedi.
10 movies just right there. Yeah.
Like,
the Old Republic. They can also jump.
Yeah, like Knights of the Old Republic or something
years
as well.
in the future.
The Old Republic, 20,000 years ago, or when like Exar Kun or whatever it was about, just like the big Jedi and Sith wars. Can you imagine? That'd be so cool.
Or just like a live action version of like the CG cutscenes from Knights of the Old Republic, where you're just seeing like just
oh my
big,
god,
full on Jedi Sith battles. Like,
I sent
please.
them to I sent them all to 3Dubs to watch. That I love those so much.
Yeah.
Just movies of that. Like you're saying, just give me movies of that.
Just give me an hour and a half. Just give me an hour and a half of that.
Yeah. Yes.
It'll make $1 billion. 100%.
Yep.
A billion Republic credits.
Where do I sign up?
Right here. And I think on that note, if anybody has anything else to add, I think we're gonna wrap it up. We went quite a while here today. You guys got anything else to plug or anything?
I do just want to say, again, this was one of our comma streams, and then the second we brought up Star Wars, it became one of our most chaotic streams we've ever had.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I made the most controversial ranking of all time. Somebody else can figure out a different ranking for next week.
We all like Star Wars, but we have little
some differing opinions, but that's fun. That's fun.
We can.
I don't stand entirely by it, but whatever.
But thank you guys, everybody, for joining. If you join live in chats or if you're just watching us on playback, thank you. Thank you for having me take over the stream today while Lance was away, and I'm glad that
next week.
Yes, and I will be back, same bat time, same bat channel next week for hopefully another fun one.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.